but just knowing that we can beat them with me on support, that's like a confidence boost in and of itself. So it started there, and then it just developed throughout the regular season, and now here we are, looking unbeatable. Stop smiling, Chris, when I say that.
it's just you're looking for a recipe for disaster. You know, like you shouldn't say it like from his EU's actually good, you know?
You gotta be EU's so much better than North America. That's the issue
right.
here. How do you do with the international tournament again, buddy?
Chris is right.
I mean,
Chris is right.
You're absolutely cooked if you don't think it's easy to qualify in an EU.
Yeah.
Actually totally cooked if that's your stance. Like Gen.G would beat Nightmare.
I think Chronic is better than anyone in EMEA. Hit Freya like he's just a freak on Freya.
Better than Quartz. Better than Quartz.
Yep. Chronic is seriously on Freya. Oh my god! Put your European woes away.
Do we think that Crazy Raccoon threw their matches so they can meet Falcons? Do we believe that narrative?
No. I just never see teams throwing. Like you hear it all the time. No, but like I know Seicoe, I know your mentality, you know? Like you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know. But, I mean, you can talk about it.
Yeah. Go on then, say it.
No, you can.
Okay. There was a
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 38 of Uncoachable. It's been a while, it's been about 2 months since we last recording an episode, but in that time, I've got married, I had a beautiful wedding and a lovely honeymoon, but I'm not the only one who's been busy. Max has flown around the world several times, and he's probably done about 2 days of work and all of that. Chris has been hard at work as well. He's won 6 games of Overwatch. I was actually expecting it to be a lower number since we last recorded, but 6 is actually... 6 in 60 days is maybe actually respectable. Yeah, because playoffs from stage 1. You won 2.
We haven't done an episode since playoffs of stage 1.
Yeah, so you won the 2 playoffs.
Hell?
That's okay. That's actually insane.
Then you won 3 regular seasons, and then of course you won this last weekend as well.
Wow, 6, not bad. Not fine.
Yeah, so I was hoping for a comically low number, but it's been so long, it's somehow respectable. Well. But we're not the only ones who've been busy, because our guest today has also been busy. They've maybe got a little bit more to show for their last 2 months' work. They've got a 2nd place finish in regular season and a spot at the Esports World Cup. Welcome, Seicoe.
Thank you for having me.
So we're back. I think I can remember how to do this. I figure the best place to start, because there's a lot of action to catch up on, so we'll probably do maybe a short regular season recap, and then we'll probably still focus mainly on the playoffs. I thought we'd start with EMEA and start with Twisted Minds, as we have Seicoe here. He's even put his jersey on for us as well, so
of course.
Seems the best place to start. Obviously, everything's sort of gone well for TM, right? Like, I feel like I missed the game of the year so far in that 6-map series up against VP. But since then, it's felt pretty smooth sailing. And second time around, last weekend, smashed them this time around. So what do you think the big difference was, Seicoe, between the regular season and the playoff match against VP?
I mean, I know it was a 6-map absolute banger last time we played, or the first time we played them. But to be honest, it should have been a 3-0. Like, we full held them on Dorado, wasn't that hard. And then on Runasapi, we had a 100-meter lead. I think Avril theory is once you get over 100 meters, you can't lose anymore, right? Is that the theory?
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did Avril theory go wrong?
It went wrong. It went wrong.
What a surprise.
So we somehow ended up losing that map. And then it went to a map 6, UB in last map, and we win. But yeah, I mean, and this time around, Sim is pretty damn good. So that obviously favors us a lot. And yeah, we just look unbeatable right now.
The first time you played VP, it was like you were like just caught between the meta shifts too, right? Like you guys were on your like Juno Kiri stuff, and then BAP just hit. So I think they actually started the BAP meta like not too bad, but I feel like what happened with you guys from my perspective is that you started the stage okay, like pretty good, and then you invented this bloody Juno Kiri like side fight style, and then you started to destroy everyone. And then you guys just got like unlimited confidence from that. And now it literally doesn't even matter what heroes you play. You kind of destroy everyone.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right about that. I think the confidence boost started after playoffs of stage 1, when we didn't qualify to China, when we played Saudi League with me on support, and we ended up beating Qadsiah twice, and then we lost the grand finals to them. But just knowing that we can beat them with me on support, that's like a confidence boost in and of itself. So it started there, and then it just developed throughout the regular season, and now here we are, looking unbeatable. Stop smiling, Chris, when I say that.
It's just you're looking for a recipe for disaster. You know, like you shouldn't say it like
You got to be
looking
careful,
unbeatable.
mate.
You know, just say looking good. You know, like on track. Maybe you guys got that confidence.
I mean, you have been saying, you know, we peaked a little bit too early, like 2 weeks ago, but we're still holding strong, Chris. So
No, I mean it's true. You guys have you've recovered, I guess, back on the top spot. You guys feel confident to win the final against Alcad?
yeah, for sure. I think we were favorites to win it all. Like as of now, I mean, obviously there's a patch today, so
Yeah.
we don't know
You
what's
saw
gonna
the
hit.
Anna buffs coming in. You saw it?
Yeah, maybe TU will be on top.
Are the patch notes already out?
Yeah, nade resets now if you get a kill. And
Oh, streak nades.
yeah, like
That'd be
it double
gas.
bounces and reset. And sleep goes to Matrix. And Diva has 200 less armor, so it's actually the same patch.
500 more armor for Winston, I hear.
Yes, exactly. That's
Gonna be good versus Painkiller. That's gonna be good.
And Heesung will still die, but he'll take
he'll
a
find a
little
way. He'll find a way.
it'll be longer to crack through his armor, you know, at least.
It's all right, mate. Twilight and Heesung, they'll just have a few choice words with each other in Korean, and they'll figure it out together.
Yeah, you
teammates.
know, they love each
Problem
other, so should be okay.
Should be fine. I think that you got to be very careful, Seicoe. You got to be very careful. The way you're talking about your roster right now, it is a recipe for disaster. Here we are unbeatable. We can't possibly lose. Patch change hits. You lose map 1 versus Alcad because Junk Bucket's cooked something up in the kitchen. Mental shatters into a billion pieces. It's done. You've got to be careful, mate. You guys, in stage 1, looked a little bit, underperforming for what perhaps the expectations of your roster were. And it's nice to have confidence, but if you've got so much confidence that you think you're just going to hard clap out everyone and there'll just be no resistance whatsoever, like that, don't you think you might be setting yourself up for failure a little bit?
That is not what I said. I did not say we can't lose at all. If you look at our matches without
you literally said unbeatable. That's like
unbeatable, but not that we're not going to lose a single
Every
match.
team is absolute shit compared to us.
That's not what I said. No, that's not what I said. If you look at our Qadsiah matches, they're always absolute dogfights. Map 5, map 6. It's even if we play them now, it's going to be an absolute dogfight. But I think we're going to come out on top.
Look, I hope you come out on top, for your sake, for Daniel's sake. But at the same time, it felt like in stage 1, your team just completely fucking fell apart as soon as things started to go wrong. Like there was all this potential for domination and it just, slipped through the cracks. Now we're going to have a patch change. If there's a sim nerf in this patch, game is done, mate. Like you got to be careful.
What about this?
How can you say that when we didn't lose pre-sim as well?
One little change is all it takes to upset the apple cart, and then once there's a rotten apple in the cart, Max, it'll spread everywhere. It feels like you're not prepared for this. You got to be careful.
What about this? Queen's getting buffed. That's confirmed. Who's insane with Queen? Gen.G. What if it's a Queen Gen.G meta? What about then Seicoe?
Oh God, he has to play Gen. No, Yubi's good for that. Yubi's good for that.
Yeah.
What's the problem? What's the problem, Chris?
I mean,
He said, "What's the problem?"
You're in massive problems here, mate. That's the one hole, right through the hero pool that you both got.
Nah, I mean, I think there's always ways around the Queen Gen.G meta. Ram May is always pretty solid into it. Yeah. And I don't see Queen Gen.G being hard meta. But yeah, I mean, if it is, you're right. Maybe TU is on top.
I don't think it'll be TU, mate. That one's not a TU cup, okay?
There's no part of this narrative that involves TU not being
unless we actually get the resetting nade, it's not a TU meta, okay?
The Chris Cope section has officially evolved to the Chris just openly giving up section. So don't even worry about that. There's simply no hope for the ultimates. Are you even bothering to scrim this week, mate?
Well, I mean, we are technically, but I think, even now we've got a few logistical issues with scrim, so we'll just see what happens.
Logistical issues.
Yeah, a few logistical problems at the moment, so hopefully we'll sort those logistics out ASAP and get some scrims in.
I'm sure you'll get it sorted.
Yeah.
What's the big difference then, Seicoe, between stage 2 and stage 1? Is it just simple?
I mean, he's so much better than Irony.
I mean, for sure.
Simple I think Simple's the MVP this split. I actually think he's fucking insane. Like he's so good.
I mean, Simple is really, really good, and he also just fits into the team better. Problem with Irony he wasn't that good at the game, and he was also just a bit of an IRL client. So like all the external factors really bothered him, while Simple he doesn't care. He just plays the game, sleeps, repeat. He doesn't really care about anything other than the game. He even told me, if scrims are good, I'm happy. Everything else doesn't matter. So, yeah, I think Simple, obviously, big upgrade. And also, this time around, we just lean more into comfort heroes. I mean, you saw us starting this Ram, Juno, Kiri. No one ever played this before. We just came up with it. And everyone's on their best heroes. So, compared to last stage, we're just following the meta, not trying to cook up anything ourselves, and we'd rather lose playing the meta than come up with a comp that fits us better.
Crusty.
Well, you just need a couple more maps on Sim, and he's about to level the fuck up. Okay.
That Diva Sim comp is almost the solution for Gen.G.
Mag is quite literally just one Diva Dorado away, with the Winston completely open.
Oh, Gabby.
A team who's not fallen into the trap of bowing to the meta is, of course, the almighty TU. So you've had 2 months to cook it up, Chris.
Yeah.
What's the explanation for everything that's happened so far?
Before we get stuck into that,
go on.
Are we at the level where we can finally beat the Koreans on dive?
I think we're just about there, mate. I think we're there.
Because I seem to recall this being the team, this finally being the one where it's like, we're going to take it to them damn Koreans on dive. Have we gotten there?
This is the part of the process. Well, we've already figured out how to beat the Koreans at dive. The only problem we're struggling with is how to face the Koreans, It's that qualification step. Like, if we did play against Crazy Raccoons, it wouldn't be a problem. It would be fucking 3-0. But it's just finding a way to actually face them, which is the issue that I didn't think about, So I just need to figure out that last step, beat VP, and then it's all done, Give us all the Koreans in our group, no problem. We'll mirror them and no problem. These technically, I didn't lose the mirror to a Koreans, I wasn't wrong. Just haven't had a chance to prove myself correct yet,
And to be fair, when you actually verse Koreans, you won too. You verse Mag and Who Are You? It's a joke.
Legit, mate, legit. The more Koreans,
but they're not mirroring you on dive is the thing as well.
Well, they know they couldn't know. They knew. Christy knew. He's like, fuck, Christy's figured out the Korean dive mirror down. I gotta Christy was making the right decision to can't mirror us.
All right, explain yourself, Chris.
So I don't know. Listen, I think I'm hoping in a future episode we'll do a TU episode, okay? And I'll tell all the gory details of everything that's gone on. I think in terms of where we're at, I think we actually started stage 2 pretty well. We lost 3-1 to Alcad, but that wasn't actually a terrible result. And then we 3-0'd Gen.G on that week. And we basically did it only playing Winston and a comp. And our feeling from that week was, okay, we're really good at this comp. If we just figure out 1 or 2 other things that bridges the gap when we have to play New Drunk City or something, then we'll be okay. And basically since then, every week we've decided that this is the new comp that fills the gap. And every single week that comp has been pretty unsuccessful, which gets us right back to the drawing board. In fact, today we're at the drawing board as we speak. There's a new the new board, and we're going to be drawing on it, hopefully with the patch changes. I think the week against Quick was when we were really the most, we were just play the meta. I can't remember what we played, but we just played I think Twilight was on Juno, Sky was on Brig, Sombra was on whatever, and we were just fully meta pilled. I think that's maybe one thing that I can say is it's I think it's the same a lot of the time with Korean players in general. It's actually ironically, I think it's also the same mindset that Gen.G has. I think sometimes Korean players especially have a much harder time buying into what Seicoe said earlier of this idea of we should kind of play to our strengths and just play our best heroes and make it work. I think like on the day before Gen.G, Heesung was in our chat and he was saying, Kev, Sim broken, you need to play Sim. And I'm sat there and I'm just like, mate, you just need to understand that the solution for TU is not to take Kev off his best heroes and put him on Sim. That isn't like the missing piece to the puzzle. So I think we have like a lot of internal friction about what to play. And even if we like agree on what to play, I think there is a lot of like, let's just say it hasn't always been rosy in buy-in to this. But I think there's also been a lot of factors that's made it really, really difficult. Like I said, that hopefully at some point we'll be able to talk about. So I don't know. I've been really disappointed in a few of the results in terms of like, I feel like our last 3 games against VP, TM and Alcad, like we didn't even win team fights. Like it was just like the gap was disgustingly big, like even bigger than what it's been in scrims, which I think, I mean, to be fair, it's not like we're winning scrims against these teams. It wasn't an upset by any stretch, but I think at least in scrims we shoot back, whereas in those officials, like we might as well have just had no guns and just played like pacifist mode or whatever. So I don't know. I think the only good thing is I don't think VP is that good right now, and I think if we do get like a decent role on the meta that's coming out in a few hours, then I don't think it's impossible for us to win that game. But I'd be lying if I think that we're winning the stage, to be honest. I think it's probably just a pray to get through that game, qualify, and then be happy with that, you know?
I guess you've probably been a bit unlucky that the meta's gone so far away from Winston and Dive as well. I guess like Max probably suffers for some of the same as well with SSG, as it's like everything's gotten harder this stage compared to stage 1.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit of it. Like if Winston Anna was insane on every map, then for sure our win rate would be higher. Like, but yeah, I don't know. Even then, it's like we don't even play that much Winston Anna, even where it's good these days. You know, like it feels.
You would have though, like.
No, but I mean, like even at the start of the stage, like the first week, it wasn't that strong, but we were finding a way to make it work. We had more confidence in it. So I don't know. I think I'd love to cope that the meta is the reason. Like I think at least with our team, I think one thing that maybe it's fair to say is there probably is like an extreme patch change, which like we could like really level up. But I think our team also has pretty significant communication and internal, and as long as we just focus on our communication, map knowledge, mechanics, ultimate usage, cooldown usage. If we just fix those things in the next 4 days, we got a chance, you know?
I feel like there's also a confidence problem in TU, you know, at this point.
Like I don't see it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you guys scrimmers, like the second hour of every scrim against us is just totally pointless, you know, because I think the big issue we've got is as we've effectively, like, in terms of the power rankings, we are clearly 4th in Europe, and we've been like, well, like hard stuck 4th, you know? And it's like our players don't want 4th. Like even like we still see ourselves as 1. So when we lose scrims to teams, we can't accept that they're better than us, you know? So I think it affects us. It affects us more.
But, yeah, I think you're right though. Like there will never be a hard monkey meta in EU, you know? Even if Monkey Anna will be the best heroes in the game, EU will always find a different comp to, you know, try to counter these heroes. So while I do believe TU would be good in a monkey mirror, like I think they struggled against these comps which aren't mirror, like a Diva, anything else, you know, Ram. I think they struggle against that. So
yeah,
I really think it would be fine. I think if like Monkey was in a better state, it would be okay. Like I remember we played Monkey into the European teams when we were online, and when we were on ping, we would always lose. Like every single time when we would take the EU scrims, we would always lose. And then as soon as we went to China and we're playing against VP and Alcad, we just clapped them playing Monkey. Like once it was like low ping, even footing, like we won like all of our scrims versus all the European teams, like consistently for the whole time we were in China. Like Monkey Ana, like Monkey Lucia Kiri was like really viable the entire time. And like the European teams, they were not beating us. They were definitely not beating once again. I don't think they were even beating Falcons with Han Binston, you know? Like Monkey was just in a state where like if it's pickable, you can beat all of the European teams playing the off tanks. But like this stage 2 patch like completely changed it. You know, like Freya makes it so much harder to play Monkey. They took armor away from Monkey. They nerfed Ana. They nerfed like multiple key components of making it viable. So now it's not possible.
I think the benefit you have, Hunter, is that you actually have Lucio available. Like, you guys have the ability to play Lucio, Kiri, Monkey, which is what even the Chinese team was playing in China.
Yeah.
Usually they love the Ana Brig version, right? But even they were playing Lucio, Kiri. And TU has the problem that they're kind of stuck on the double flex, and if they go Lucio, Twilight Lucio, it's not the greatest.
I'm not saying that it's possible now.
Yeah.
I guess like I mean I think Chris just took the piss by getting rid of Faith, to be honest. Like just going all in on the Sky Twilight is just fucking outrageous to me. But all in on the double flex, you do you. Literally put all of your eggs in a 27-year-old, 1.5 year long retired player. I fuck with it. I fuck with it so goddamn heavy. But yeah, I do think like TU could have had like a way stronger showing even with the double flex stuff. With like no Lucio, double flex, just Monkey is like, it's not wank now, but it's like it's so much weaker than it was before. There's like a million counters. There's a million counters, and they're actually good counters. You can still like play, outrageously well and win, but like it's much harder than it was before.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is in stage 1, the only problem TU had was that they didn't qualify. If they had qualified, they would have looked good.
Yeah.
So we've come full circle back to Chris's original point that they're going to be LAN champions. They just can't get to the LAN.
Yeah. To be honest, I feel like the only thing, like, you're right about all the Winston stuff, but I think even our roster itself, like, there's loads of comps which would be fine at if it's. I think D.Va is just such a fucking. I wish it wasn't so fucking disgustingly broken, like it shuts down everything. Like, if I could pray for one nerf today, if they just like took D.Va and just made it always baby D.Va and she didn't get a mech or anything, like. Honestly, I swear, like it would be so fucked for like everyone else because the only other tank people can play is like so balanced to flex, but it's always like the D.Va swap, which always causes so many problems. But I mean, that's how the cookie crumbles,
Another team who's cookie. I'll go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I think David's like quite challenging, like matches up reasonably well into the Monkey, but again, like the best Monkey teams are like always beating the D.Va. Like D.Va's not like this hard counter to Winston. I think Winston beats D.Va if played really well. Maybe nowadays that's not so true with Freya, but
yeah, D.Va's the counter to double flex is my point, not Winston.
Oh right, just makes it impossible to play with Twilight Sky.
You want it, Anakiri, Bapalari, whatever. Like D.Va.
Well, you did know that coming into EU, everyone loves D.Va, and you didn't really have a break player, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You guys are right. It's really hard to cope my way out of it too much, given how we've done. Like I don't know. We'll talk in the TU episode. Like, I'll get more sympathy, I think, because I do think that certain things could have been overcome with like the proper motivation or whatever it ends up being. But I mean.
Aren't you the motivation man?
I wish I could be, but it's not quite as simple as it looks, perhaps.
I will say, when Chris finally gets to do his entire cope, it's actually one of his more convincing copes.
Yeah, I mean, Chris has a way with words. I've always said this.
Don't let Chris fool you. Like, don't let Chris fool you into thinking that he's like a victim of circumstance. Like, Chris is literally the guy that goes to Subway, says that the sandwich is shit. Chris, you made the sandwich. You got to fucking eat it now. Like, this is your decision. You got to own it.
I'm eating it. And honestly, we're 3 maps away from qualifying. Same as you,
True.
mate. What's your sandwich? Your sandwich is fucking shit as well.
My sandwich has to go through Lep and Luke Minnow. Like, well,
Yeah, that's it. Your sandwich is just in it. Like, you're competing against shit sandwich shops. The problem is EU is actually good. You gotta be
EU so much better than North America. That's the
all
issue
right.
here.
Okay.
How do you do with the
Chris
international tournament again, buddy?
Chris is right.
I mean,
Chris is right.
You're absolutely cooked if you don't think it's easy to qualify in the EU.
Yeah.
You're actually totally cooked if that's your stance. Like Gen.G would beat Nightmare.
That's just not true.
No, I think Chris is right.
Yeah, it is true.
I think Gen.G and Peps could even
beat Nightmare.
Yeah, okay, maybe not above Nightmare, but they would beat Nightmare.
Just delusional European cope. Like,
no, it's true.
You literally,
listen, mate.
You got blown out at the international tournament. GK literally they won a series versus Crazy Raccoon. It's like the first time a Western team has like ever done it. And you still think NA is like a
GK,
bum region.
Liquid, and SSG are good, but apart from that top three, it's plumbers in NA. Whereas I think
Nightmare's had strength too. Like Nightmare gave it belt to ass to Liquid like 3 weeks ago.
Mate, if
they went to map 5 with GK.
TU played Nightmare to see who's best at rest. We'd like 7-0 them.
I agree.
It's just a European podcast.
It's genuinely a fact. It's genuinely a fact.
I couldn't even see how you deny that.
You think Nightmare would beat us, which is supported by the opposite. You know, like if you look at the results at the international event,
Hunter.
I'm gonna say you're already, mate, because we're not arguing about the top. But that's not. We're arguing about the depth arguing about
here.
The two fourth place teams.
Yeah. So like fucking Zera playing like Jesus for a few maps against Crazy Raccoon doesn't stop the fact that Nightmare are plumbers. That like doesn't change that statistic.
It's just okay. So like I'm not trying to like bust your team, Chris, but it's like we scrimmed your team. Like the 4th place team, right? And we've scrimmed Nightmare many times. Nightmare shoots back a lot more than TU did. Like that's.
I mean, we've scrimmed Nightmare and they didn't shoot back, mate. There was no shooting going on. You just caught us on a ropey day, like our hearts weren't in it that day from day one.
But you guys, even in like this ropey state, you guys are still able to stay 4th. You guys can still clap out Gen.G. Like everyone knows Gen.G is dog shit. Like the tier break, like you and then below you, there's a big gap, right? Like
yeah, but Nightmare would be in that same below.
I just think that Nightmares are. I think Nightmares are around that level. Like you think Nightmares?
I think
not
maybe
human. Like
2 weeks ago.
Nightmare look at Nightmare's results.
I mean, they nearly lost to fucking Extinction the other day.
Yeah, they're not that good anymore. I think they had this meta where they were good, but now they're not good anymore.
They've got Chronic on Freya.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it not just the same situation where both 4th place teams find themselves with like a bit of a tier break between the top 3? So it's really hard to get to
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Like these guys are acting like EMEA is so much better than North America and has so much depth below the top.
Yeah, it does. Okay, it does.
4 and below.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so you take 1 through 8 and you play them at that opposite number of NA. EU wins that like 6-2.
I agree. In its current state of Overwatch, right now, if you did it today, it would be 6-2, maybe 7-1.
We could 8-0 it, to be honest.
Yeah, we could. It could be an 8-0 as well.
TM would beat GK. Alcaz would beat Liquid. Who's it? VP versus you. Easy for VP. Us, Nightmare, already discussed. Peps, who's 5th in it? No one even knows the name of the team.
Sakura. I guess Extinction is slightly better, but
there's no way Mag isn't clapping Sakura.
Mag can't clap anything.
No, Mag's Korean. Mag
is on. Mag would literally play Diva into Clear on Hazard, and Clear would kill Who Are You on Sim 15 times in a row if Who Are You isn't killing himself. Like, if you don't think that Sakura could beat Gen.G, I think you're delusional.
No, I'm not delusional. You're surely Gen.G are beating Sakura. Like every player is better.
They are permanently self-sabotaging. Who cares about the player quality? They're literally on like the anti-skill comp. Like, let's pick every hero we're bad at right now. Mag, get on an off tank. Who are you? We're banning Gen.G. Get on Sim. Like, seriously, there's no way.
Okay, but I'm gonna take TM out of the equation here. But I think Qadsiah and VP, like the top of EU, is even better than the top of NA right now. Like, not even my team included.
Which is also unbeatable, by the way. TM unbeatable.
For now.
I don't really know, to be honest. We haven't scrimmed Europe at all. I don't know how it feels. But, like, I just remember last stage, like, I don't know, we were just arse in, like, every ping scrim. It's like every EMEA team,
it's true.
Every EMEA team has some fucking player in Saudi Arabia, which means that you have to scrim on the European server. And, like, our whole team is West Coast. So, like, we all just have, like, outrageously high ping for every fucking EMEA scrim. We lose every EMEA scrim and we're like, EMEA is so much better than North America. I remember saying it on the podcast. I'm like, yeah, I think Europe's just better than America. And then we went to China and it's like, okay, that's cap. That's actually cap. That was just the 160 ping diff, I fear.
Where's the Liquid team?
Did NA beat an EU team?
They're in Texas.
In China, or was it just scrims?
scrims because EMEA had
They
like the
didn't.
bracket where it was like
There was no. Yeah.
they went and then
Crazy
they played each other.
Raccoon's loss meant that and there was no
Yeah.
NA versus EMEA matchup.
But yeah, if the scrims were anything to go off, I think the EMEA would have actually gotten plowed in that one. EMEA
I mean,
was
to
really
be fair,
struggling at that
Alcad
event.
I swear Alcad didn't even scrim before China. I swear they were like.
They had like 1 or 2
They showed up.
days
They showed up pretty
something.
late. Yeah,
Yeah, they were totally fucked.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
they showed up and they were just playing tread on Malga or something.
I'll
completely
do a wager that EU outperforms NA EWC. I'm happy to do that
Agreed.
wager all day.
Also, I think at China, VP would have beaten Nightmare if they had met each other.
I think you're just completely wrong about that.
No.
Like a week before China, during the Soup Cup, Nightmare absolutely shit the bed, no? And VP was
Yeah,
actually doing pretty good.
And then how did that go? Like come tournament time?
Well, I mean,
did VP get
like-
beat by?
yeah, Raccoons
Crazy
and
Raccoon.
who else? China? Yeah, China.
China.
Yeah,
Yeah,
once
China
again.
and
But
Yeah.
they
Raccoon,
played against
yeah.
once again, and they got reamed. Like they got absolutely crushed.
Yeah, it's true. But like Chris said, I mean, Zero just had a performance of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, to be
on-
honest,
in
that one
Crazy
result,
Raccoons
that
game.
insane result, is actually doing all of the lifting for NA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the Super Cup mattered more, now that I think about it. That's a real tournament. That's a real fucking tournament.
Okay. The poop cup mattered more than the actual tournament now. Like
Exactly.
their one insane result at the major actually matters a lot less than their bad result before the major.
Exactly. I agree.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You've convinced me.
You didn't consider the poop cup, mate.
Now we're all agreed on that. I think another thing we can all agree on is the absolute state of Gen.G, who have now been eliminated from stage 2, will miss out on potentially miss out on another major. I guess they can still last chance qualifier it, etc. But but if we're living in the real world, it just seems completely cooked. It seems worse than stage 1, even though again, like all the roster moves seemed positive, but this seems worse than stage 1. The eye test is like horrendous. All the comp decisions seem shit. The players don't seem comfortable. It feels like they have zero confidence, zero faith in what they're doing. And I guess, well, the results sort of tell the tale of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I feel like when I look at Gen.G, I feel like they have a lot of, I guess, like similarities to us in terms of they clearly have pretty massive communication problems when you watch them play. They have like a mixed roster, but it feels like the direction that Krusty wanted his team to go was one of towards play the meta at all times. Whereas what we decided to do most of the time is go away from that. But I think even regardless of both my and Krusty's decisions, the fact that we have like really, really massive team play problems at all times, kind of like I think the thing with Gen.G is like I think they could have been more competitive if they, signed this Genji one trick and let him play Genji for more than 5 minutes across the season. Like that seems like it would have been a positive move. But I still don't think this team was ever close to competing. Like I don't think there was a comp they could play where like I don't know how your scrims went, but I don't think we lost to Gen.G even close a single time this stage. Like it was always completely free.
I mean, it's been happened a couple of times where they just called 30 minutes early, like because one of their players rage quit. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know where Gen.G go from here. Like, do they just? I don't know. Like, who would they even drop? And who would they sign? I don't know what the play is for them. But yeah, I also want to say, Chris, I can't really blame Krusty too much for leaning into the sim. Because when you do scrim against these sim teams, it really feels like you can't do anything, Like, this comp is so oppressive. Like, you can't, you probably experienced it yourself, right? When you play against these sim.
It's
you really,
broken for sure.
Yeah, you really can't.
Especially against us, it's like, we're not going to sim them either, Like,
of course.
But then it's run the equation of, like, sim is a communication comp, right? Like fundamentally a communication comp. That's what I said to my team. I said, we played sim on one map and we couldn't, for the entire map, it was impossible to get 5 people into the same TP. Like we couldn't get 5 people to press F at the same frame because it required a level of communication which was above what we're capable of, And like even if it is strong, objectively strong, and you've got it's a sim meta, which is a fucking tough place to be as a team like me, us and Gen.G, it just can't be the highest percent chance, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Be.
I mean, especially when you roll out on comps, like on Busan, you rolled out on, I think, Ball, Tracer, and Akiri. Like, just go Tracer, who are you? Like, just swap your hero.
Yeah.
What? Because especially once you get to playoffs, right? Like, there's what the meta is, what's the strongest comp, etc. But you just need to win games, right?
Yeah.
And the TU game for Gen.G is actually a dream fixture. Because all of a sudden, both teams are just going to handshake. No one's going to play Sim. And you can just play other comps. You can put people on their better heroes, etc. Because to be fair, most of the time, like, the problem with who are you playing Sim, and even like every time Mag goes D.Va, I think like 9 out of 10 times I'm thinking, yeah, D.Va's a good hero here. The problem is, it's just the two players aren't any good at it. So whenever they run into like a semi-competent team, they just fall apart.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just the TU fixture should have been a dream fixture where they could have just played versions of the comp that really favoured them. Like if they just played a Rissa Genji Cass and then like a Bat Lucio or something, that's probably really fine on like half the matchups. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they could even do like whenever Crazy Raccoon play T1, they always effectively handshake dive mirrors on all these maps. Like if they did that, we would have mirrored it for sure, you know. And then at least it's something different. But to be honest, I mean, they're a Korean team and we're mirroring on dive, so we probably had that in the bag regardless. Like maybe it wasn't the right decision for them, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think I don't know. I don't know what the best way forward. I don't think it was what they went for though.
Why is it? It kind of applies to you guys as well on TU, but with like TU and Gen.G, we talk about all these like communication issues and stuff. But mixed teams aren't a new thing. We've had them in Overwatch League before. Is there something that's making it much harder now to get everyone on the same page? Is it just the lack of team house or the lack of?
Yeah, I think lack of team house. Like I think VP really benefit from that team house. I think especially early on. Like I think even you talk to them and they all say like it was like an insane. I think without shit talking the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I think culturally it's a really difficult place for the Koreans to live compared to like it's so different, you know. Like if you think about what the Koreans want to do in their spare time in Korea, they'd always want to go out, get drunk, and do karaoke or something, you know. So I think that really isn't a Saudi Arabian possibility, you know. So I think the fact that there isn't a team house, and it feels like the fact that like I think Gen.G had the same thing because their Koreans were also in Saudi Arabia the whole time, right? I think that I think this season I think Irony had the same thing, right? Like I think for sure if you're on a losing team, the Koreans being like isolated in Saudi is really tricky for them. I think it's like it's a lot harder than that LA team house, you know.
You're right, Chris, but Gen.G actually had their entire team in Saudi this stage.
The whole season?
For stage, no, for stage 2 only, right? I think.
Oh, stage 2, yeah.
Really?
Like they had Exodial, Crispy was there as well, Kanale was there. But yeah, they had like a little team house over there. I think Crispy left early, but yeah, they did. But I mean, for sure, you're right. Team house helps so much in these mixes, and I mean, I felt it during New York as well. We had like this little time online, Pro AM. It's so hard to play with a mixed roster when you don't have that face-to-face interaction. And I also mentioned this earlier to CommanderX with Simple even. Just the fact that we were able to see him face-to-face in Saudi League and ESL tournament, it just means so much and it helps so much, you know? Like you just build that connection instantly. While over, you know, voice chat, different language, they barely speak English, it's so hard. And Onter can probably vouch for this as well.
Yeah, I think ultimately, like if you don't go and stay with them and get all of that face-to-face interaction, it's just way too easy for them to log off after scrims and not speak any English and not bond with the team at all. Maybe they'll play a little bit of rank with someone, but like if they're at home, that's just not going to happen anyway because of the ping. But if they come to whatever country and they live with other people, then they get so much more exposure to the team and to the environment. We're lucky with like Callan and Bliss that, I mean, you know, we have the occasional communication problem, but they have pretty good English, all things considered. These guys have like, you know, both experienced mixed rosters before. It's a bit of a shame that when they come out to Utah, with the exception of me being here right now for, you know, this like really short playoffs period, they're never team housing with everyone else, right? Like they just come here to the house in Utah and they're alone anyway. So they get they actually don't get any more time with the team or any more exposure to the English language because they're here by themselves. And there's like nobody else living with them, or they'll be like, you know, random Rocket League children living with them, giving them cancer by leaving shit in the kitchen. But that's about it.
Is there any way to overcome it then? I guess because VP are VP the only success story of like a mixed roster. Maybe Team Liquid, but it's only Knife, but also they have a Team House. Oh, TM as well, yeah.
Yeah, TL does not count as a success of a mixed roster, mate. They had their mixed roster. They violently fucking failed. They picked up the star DPS player from the team that beat them to, take the Korean guy out of the roster. That's not a success story of mixed rosters, mate. That's a success story of having lots of money
to the
from
issues
the
other
Honda
mixed
company.
teams have had.
Yeah.
It feels like the mixed rosters can work. I think you have to, like, Simple is like the example, right? Like Simple, everything that Seicoe says, like Heesung, for example, really hates the ping when he was in Saudi. Like he really, really couldn't deal with like the 90 ping. So you need someone that can deal with the ping and deal with the living situation.
Yeah.
But I think it's almost impossible to know how someone's gonna deal with that, until they're in that situation. So
no, it's true.
If you could do because VP's also lucky because their team house, where is it, like Serbia or something?
Serbia,
yeah.
So I think they go out for like Korea and barbecue and have some drinks and stuff, which I think is also pretty conducive to bonding as a team. But I suspect, you got to have some real Russian oil money to be able to do that, I think.
I think VP did a great job, to be honest, with their roster assembling and also, team house. It's like, I mean, you can see it by their results, right? They've been great over the years so far. But I also want to say, like, when Simple is in UK right now, for anyone that didn't know. So he's on low ping. So I was like really excited for him. I'm like messaging him, you happy? You happy? You low ping? It's good? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I like high ping more. Like Simple really just doesn't care. Like I was more happy for him being on low ping than he was himself. So yeah.
He's just for the boys, mate. He just wants to be around it. Has he got Heesung with him?
Yes, Heesung is with him.
Maybe that's the issue, actually. Yeah, he's just fucking doesn't like Heesung is the thing. Yeah.
Where are they?
Twilight been so happy since Heesung went to the UK. But Heesung was so happy too, like he on the first day he was playing like Winston. He's like, oh, ping, so good, so good.
Just so happy to be in Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, what a place, mate! What a place.
Should we talk a little bit about VP as well? Because they haven't qualified yet for the Esports World Cup. They have that match, obviously, against TU next week. Feels like maybe, I guess, result-wise, they a drop-off from stage one. But VP actually, have they gotten worse since stage one? Or is there just like have Alcad, have TM all caught up and overtaken? Like, how much of it is the other teams getting stronger and how much of it is have VP gotten worse?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think TM and Alcad definitely got better. VPs, to be honest, they're still just as good as they were before. Maybe just the meta doesn't suit them just as much. Stage one, they were able to keep Ju and Gen.G for all of it, to be honest, and fix on Brig, and those are their best heroes. They're absolutely insane on those heroes. So they were really able to create that gap in Europe on those heroes. But now, and even in China, I don't think, Gen.G was barely being played. Neither was Brig, so I think that's why VP didn't do that good there. And obviously now you can't, like those heroes aren't that good anymore either. So I think it's a bit of both, bit of a combination.
Yeah, I feel somewhere too, like maybe I'm still always like, I'm quite 5-man roster pilled, but I feel watching Vestola this stage in scrims and I think he's gotten worse since he's been splitting playtime a little bit. Like I feel like I actually think Ice has impressed me a lot. I actually think he's way better than I thought he would be. But I worry that like they've brought in a second tank and hasn't really, like I feel like they rarely play dive anyway, and it's just maybe makes things like slightly more complicated. And we'll talk about Falcons later, but I feel like maybe they're in a similar boat where the additional body actually hurts the existing synergy, confidence, overall level a little bit too.
You might have a good point, Chris, 'cause to be honest, you remember last year SSG versus ENS? Vestola had the same issue with Chase. They were always fighting for that playtime. And we always thought that, Vestola is good, but he wasn't insane. But during stage one this year, I think everyone thought that Vestola was absolutely insane, best tank by far in the EU. But yeah, you're right. Now he might be facing that same issue again. And now I know KSA had that problem on TU last stage as well. Like I really think the fact that you have to fight for your spot, like it can be a good thing if you have the right personality for it, but it can also be a bad thing if you don't.
No, I fully agree with you. I think even just basic mathematics says if you take a player and you play 60% as much Overwatch as you played before, you'll get worse, you know?
Yeah.
Like, regardless of anything else, just the fact that you're like effectively gaining rust is a bad thing. I think like even with us, when Qadsiah was just in and he was just a tank player for us, he always looked better than when we would try to do like chase maps and Qadsiah maps and stuff. So yeah, I agree with that.
Still odds-on favourites though. I mean, maybe Chris will disagree, but still feel like they're odds-on favourites though to qualify for the Esports
Give
World
me
Cup.
3 hours to read some fucking notes and then I'll let you know. Give me 3 hours.
Oh, you know what? We really should have done this podcast at a time that was inconvenient for you guys, because we could have done like a plat chat, patch notes, react going and looking at like, you know, and nerfs and all that. But instead we're just recording 2 hours before the patch drops, so we don't know a goddamn thing.
That's okay, mate. We don't need to rely on patch notes for our content. We got personalities, okay?
What do you mean? We haven't recorded an episode in 60 days, Chris.
Yeah, but this is like the comeback of Uncoachable is going to go so hard, you know?
Okay, all right.
I mean,
there might be
on these days, so
there might be something in waiting 60 days to record an episode, then still recording it 2 hours before the patch. Maybe there was a room for improvement there, but
next week's episode we can do the patch notes and the playoffs.
Next week's episode is not going to happen, mate. That's a
bit of
60-day project.
The winter episode of Uncoachable is going to go so hard.
Just one per season. Elsewhere in EMEA, the other team we've not really talked about too much is Alcad, but I think actually, like looking through it, Alcad have had a pretty easy go of it since we last recorded in terms of, obviously, they got to play TM early on, won that game, went unbeaten regular season, and then obviously got the draw against TU to secure their spot. So it's really been actually a pretty cushy run for Alcad through stage 2 so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Alcad look really, really good as well. To be honest, yeah. I think the big three are just Alcad, VP, and TM right now. Like, I think all these three teams have proven, like, even through multiple metas, that we can keep up. Like, even through the, yeah.
In many ways, this was almost like a perfect, well, it was pretty perfect for TM, but also pretty perfect for Alcad, right? Like, with landing on the map, checking out.
I mean, now it is,
like,
right?
It all
but
just sort of lined up, yeah.
Like, they've
it's
also
not going to be in a
proven,
couple of hours.
Yeah, I mean, they've also proven no matter the meta, they can keep up, you know? Like, they were good in the Mauga meta, they were, like, if Divas meta, they're insane.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I think they're just objectively really, really good, so.
Yeah, I think their off-season was pretty simple. Like, once SEL changed their rule, it just got really easy. They were allowed, like, they didn't have to have 3 Saudis on the roster, so they could upgrade Haku to Kalex, and obviously that fits really well. So it's like, it's one of those where it's kind of a no-brainer off-season. They were already really good. They've just gone better, and now everything looks really good.
Really similar to TM, right? In terms of take their weakest link and then upgrade it with like a quality player, and then everything keeps going their way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess the only other teams to mention is obviously Peps have been eliminated as well. I don't know if there's really too much to add there. Probably like an expected result, all things considered.
I mean, they had the opposite off-season to Alcad, where they just lost their best players and couldn't replace them. There's like nothing you can do. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's what Pep should be, to be honest. Like an org like that, in reality,
like
should be like a feeder team. Like, you should like get the next up and then be quite happy when they go to an org where they get paid or whatever. But I mean, they weren't that good last season, but it looked really tough for them this year.
The problem with being a feeder team is it's really hard to maintain. To like keep finding the next up players is really, really hard to have that happen continuously.
Especially in the current state.
Like really rocky. Yeah. Because as much as like you look at the players they signed, don't actually disagree really with any of the players they've signed, you know? Both seemed really reasonable signings given the talent available at the time. So I think it's honestly the nature of it.
Yeah, they did the best they could have done. it's just rough for them, to be honest, because EU is just pretty damn good right now. So now that Unter's,
let's be real. Now that
now
it's not an A.
it's not an A.
We can be honest while he's away. It's not an A.
The only other thing to mention, this kind of happened a while ago, actually, but obviously there's quite a few things have happened since we've last recorded. We should talk about the Quick situation as well, because Quick, or whether they're called One Dip, 100 Gorillas, as they've been named for the last few weeks, had a very bizarre situation in terms of their org. Well, they left Quick Esports announced the removal of the roster was leaving, and there was lots of rumors going around. Everyone was expecting them. They were planned to be signed to another org, like an upgrade, basically, you know. But then they were announced to leave, but their new team was never announced. So I'll read you through this Reddit thread that kind of summarise what Seicoe said on it. But basically, they had a new org, team for Saudi E-League, with 3 other Quick players. Willis wasn't going to be available, so they're actually going to have Hadi come and join the team to replace him to play in Saudi E-League, and then also they'd be their sort of sponsor or their name for OWCS as well. Played several matches, but after the 4th one, the Saudi E-League admins told them they were not allowed to make Hadi compete, which is always good to know 4 matches into a tournament. So all the previous matches where Hadi had played were counted as defeats, thus meaning they can't progress anymore in Saudi E-League because they've lost too many games. So couldn't qualify. And then apparently from that point, this is, I guess we're in like theory territory now, but Seicoe thinks that they all got mad and decided just to not sign Quick for OWCS as a result of this ruling. And then they've just been left in this weird limbo stage where they became Dip versus the Gorillas.
Yeah, I don't know. SEL always has so many just like
it's
like the admins, like all 7 admins will tell you are completely different. But like once you clear a player to play, then he has to, like, you can't revoke it. Like, okay, yeah, he can play, and then actually no, he couldn't play. You've been DQ'd. Like, that's actually insane.
But because like, it happened to Who Are You as well, right? For Gen.G, like they the same situation
they
where
let
Who Are
him,
You?
No,
they said
it's not the same. Because in this situation, Hadi is not allowed to play because he was playing on TM the stage before. Mm-hmm. Who Are You? They just signed him up too late, and then one admin told him he can't play, and then another admin told him he can't play. But yeah, we have the same problem with Simple, right? Because he was playing for Vision last stage, so we can't play him now. So I have to play support again. But it's just like, isn't that rule just so stupid? Am I missing something? Like, why can't you sign a player that played in a different team stage 1?
So Simple, because you had to fill in on Saudi League season 1.
Yeah,
but that seems fair enough, right? Because you make the irony change in the OWCS off season, but it's not between Saudi League tournaments.
Yeah,
but you're saying you still have to play support because you can't sign Simple for stage 2 of Saudi League.
Exactly, because Simple played with Vision for stage 1, so it's the same problem that Hadi has now.
But what relevance is who they played for in the stage 1?
Sorry?
It has like no relevance, it's just there's an off season or there's a gap between tournaments. It's like it doesn't make any sense.
It's just the most stupid rule in the world, So I mean, it was also the worst timing in the world. Saudi League was supposed to be from the 22nd till the 25th, so that's like right during OWCS playoffs, like right now. And obviously, we said we can't do that. So now they at least moved it like a couple of days later. Like that tournament it just has the worst organization in the world.
Yeah, I mean, what you're getting into SEL, like the amount of scrims I get cancelled on me these weeks because someone, either TM or LCAD says, oh yeah, our match has just been rescheduled on like 30 minutes notice, so we can't scrim anymore. And you just, what can you do,
Unbelievable.
It's just a shambles.
Yeah,
it is.
And I mean, the real shame here is like, I sort of feel like the org in question have also just really screwed Quick Esports over as well.
Yeah.
Or the Quick Esports roster over. Because I don't see how it's justification to not sign the team anymore. I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like the contracts they presumably, when they left Quick Esports, presumably they had signed new contracts with the new organization. And you can't just rip up those contracts. The nature of a contract is you can't just rip it up and say it doesn't count anymore.
Well,
any lawyers who are watching and want to weigh in on the legal issues here,
you might be
or
wrong
the legality of it all, but that's my layman's understanding of it.
My understanding of contract seems to be very different.
Maybe in the TU episode we can get more into that.
We'll get a legal expert
It's
on.
more of a,
Concept.
a handshake.
A suggestion.
A handshake, we'll see.
Handshakes are supposed to have some sort of binding nature
Yeah,
to
it's,
them.
it's actually less than that. It's a fist bump is what it is. Just a little fist bump,
Somebody scribbled on a napkin.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I
It's
think we were
actually
talking
tough.
about the quick esports players magically losing their jobs for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things can happen.
Many such cases.
Well, yeah,
In a
they're
certain region,
the real
many
ones
such
who
cases.
suffer. Yeah, because now they're just left in this limbo. Because I'm pretty sure they weren't like full-time salary on Quick, but I think they were getting a bit of money. So they've gone from a bit of money for promise of a full-time salary to no money. And now, I don't know.
Now they're
I don't know
relegated.
I don't know if they... Now they're relegated, yeah. I mean, it's actually...
I feel like Quick...
After those first...
Yeah, that's it. Their stocks went so high.
The first 2 weeks, we're going to get full-time salaries. We're going into top 6.
Yeah.
It's all
Like they
looking good
3-2
for
VP.
Quick.
I actually loved it when they lost 3-2 to VP. Everyone's like, oh, Quick is absolutely insane. And then next week they beat us 3-2 when Twilight steps on a post bomb. It's because we were shit, It's like, it's so fucked up, Like how come little VP, they pushed them all away, but then their stocks from those 2 weeks went so high. Like everyone thought, oh, this team, like people saying this team might qualify for, blah, 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 but it was like, I think that's why they got signed and then de-signed and stuff. They caught a few teams at the right time, and then since then they were never that good. It's like Nightmare, They got a bit of the early Freya stuff, and then it was all over.
True. I mean, I think it makes sense that their stocks went so high. If you take VP to a map 5, when they were just unbeaten for the entire stage 1. Yeah, and then they almost
just the bubble,
they do beat you
burst,
guys.
Yeah.
The Freya market crashed, mate. The nerfs.
It did, yeah. Total collapse.
Do you think SkyTour's theory is right, that they just got annoyed by the Saudi E-League situation and dropped the team? Or do you think there is any chance there was an element of them realising that maybe the Quick Esports core that they signed, that the bubble had burst, and they were just trying to worm their way out of the contracts?
Probably both.
Honestly,
We're all in like conspiracy. I mean, I guess the nature of never officially announcing the team is you never have to explain yourself when you drop the team, because as far as everyone knows, you never had them. So you just sort of weasel your way out of any sort of explanation.
Yeah. They probably just realized, oh, they're not as good as we thought they were.
Bad
and then if we can't even get a decent placement in Saudi League, what's the point? Why are we wasting money?
Yeah. Sucks for the Quick Esports players, though, because they've just been...
Yeah.
I think they've done really nothing wrong in this situation, but just end up getting screwed over.
No, it's true. They deserve way better for sure. I mean, they try really, really hard, and they're all up-and-comers, so it just sucks for them, but... What can you do?
Yeah, they'll be playing. I think it's either like 2 or 3 weeks now. Then the promotion relegation up against the top of Face It Masters, though. But I reckon they've still got a decent chance at bouncing back and keeping their spot as well. So I don't think it's not quite over for them yet.
Maybe we should talk about Vision actually, because they're pretty good. Like with the Violet signing,
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
actually, have we talked about the Violet signing since we last did an episode?
Yeah. No, you haven't.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Team Vision, they've basically got 2 versions of the roster, because there's a version where they played, I think it was called the ESL Saudi Challenge, which was a qualification event for the last chance qualifier, and you were allowed to play 3 Koreans in that. Again, for reasons that don't particularly make sense, or... really have any justification. So they had Violet, of course, for headline signing, as well as Donghyun and Choi Se-wan as well, alongside some Saudi players and Tama and Alba as well. So basically what they did in the challenge, it was for 3 Koreans, and then AMDP and Slowdive playing. And then when they play Face It Masters, I think it's mostly what's his name? One who comes in, I would guess, or maybe it's Tama comes in.
No, I think it's one and Tama, because Amdip is still 16 years old, so he can't even play in.
So we can't play in OWCS, so we have to
I think it's
both. Yeah,
I think it's Tama and one and Violet right now, because double flex sports is pretty good if you're not TU.
But I imagine I don't know if I don't think you can get them up quickly, Alpha. But I think Vision are going to be heavy favourites to qualify out of Face It Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
probably also then heavy favourites to get into OWCS for stage 3 as well.
Yeah, I think in their current form they would be top 4 in OWCS. Over to you.
You think?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think so.
Landon says the same, but it's like I don't see it. Like when we scrim them, it's like I don't know where the hype comes from, to be honest. Like,
Oh, you scrimmed them?
Yeah, we scrim them. The thing is,
Yeah,
their
okay.
best comps we just mirror, and we were always better, you know. So it's like it's a bad matchup against us.
Yeah,
that's classic Korean theory.
Like if they want to double flex, then we'll double flex. But like I think they're good. Like I think they would. I mean, I guess they probably are better than. Maybe they are better than. They're probably better than Nightmare at least. To be honest, like, I think even the EU feeder teams are better than the top 4 in NA. But I don't know. I struggle to see us losing to them, but hopefully. Well,
fair enough. I mean, maybe they would. Maybe then they'd be like 5th, but they'll be better than Peps and who else? Gen.G.
Yeah. Gen.G. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's something like Vision and the former Quick team alongside the current top 6, it could actually be a pretty fierce stage 3 when it comes down to these relegation promotion positions. Of course, they have already qualified for the last chance qualifier as well. I'm very confident.
Congratulations on
They will
qualifying
be
to an event anyone can go to.
I mean, it felt like a bigger deal at the time when they won that tournament. It's like, oh, they've qualified. They've got one of the spots. Not anyone can get. But
is that true? Anyone can go?
Anyone can go.
So I think if I'm right, it's a 16-team tournament. There have been 16 invites sent, or 16 invites reserved, I guess, based on your placement in your respective OWCS or other tournaments. But that invitation is quite literally just an invitation. You've got to pay your own way there and get your way there, okay? So with all these invitations, as much as you have basically reserved yourself a spot in this tournament, you have to confirm you go in and pay your own way. So if you don't confirm you go in or you refuse the invite, that spot is just open to anyone, I think.
How do you take that, like, because there's only so many teams that, you say it's open to anyone. How do you qualify for that open spot? There's got to be something to feed into it, right?
No, there is you can sign up, I think.
Google
like sign up for like a Swiss or what? Like
no, just for that tournament.
I don't
what if
think
more
16
teams sign up than the?
Thankfully, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think
there's going to be there's going to be a bunch of random Saudi E-Leagues rosters that can like sign up and go, right? Like to fill out the bracket.
Yeah, well, that's what it will be. It'll probably be like Falcons, ZETA, and then 14 Saudi teams.
Yeah, but what if there's 15 Saudi teams that sign up? Like, how do they just fucking flip a coin? Like, I don't know. I thought the LCQ was going to be. I thought the LCQ was going to be really hype. I thought it was going to be cool to get like all these different teams from all the different regions coming out to like actually fight for another slot. And then it's just the most Mickey Mouse thing in the world. Like you have to pay your own way, like in every way. It's like I'm not saying that they, I think if you're going to have an LCQ like that, you might as well pay for people to be there. Otherwise, why even bother hosting one? Like host something where you have to fly to Riyadh and pay for your own accommodation in Riyadh. That's like so prohibitive to teams actually attending.
Yeah, especially because you know to go, you have to overcome Falcons, like that's in the back of your mind. We pay all this money just to get like sent home by Falcons, Yeah.
I mean, also, it has like a pretty good price pool. Like if they like 100K, if they just put like 50K of that money to like, and then just pay for like what the 4th team in EU and 4th team in NA, and just that match alone, it's actually kind of hype, like EU versus NA matchup. I swear people would love to tune into this game. Like, people always love cross-regional.
Pretty sure you get like 5K just for showing up, right?
Yeah,
like just for being there in the top 16. Like just 5K handed to you, cash in hand. Like all these Saudi E-League rosters are about to make a fucking killing. They just show up and collect the fucking $5,000 government stimulus check. What is that?
You're right. It's so weird. Actually. You just bring 5 Saudi people. They don't have to pay for anything, and then you just take the 5K.
Just take the money. Get absolutely plowed by Falcons. Walk away with $5,000 cash in hand.
That was 5.5 actually. Even nice.
Well, 500 extra. It's 100 per person. What a treat. Good format from the sounds of it.
Oh wait, here we go. There's a disclaimer on the announcement. Hold on, I can send this to you, our phone. Disclaimer: depending on the amount of participating teams, the format may be subject to change. Okay. So, because the original format is like a group stage, then a double elimination group stage bracket, like I guess like GSL style groups, and then a single elim playoffs. But I guess everything is just subject to change depending on how many people actually turn up.
Yeah, I mean, they asked us like in our channel, "You coming? If you don't make it, you coming?" And I don't know. It's like, what can we say? Like, I don't know. Maybe let's see if we qualify first and figure it out from there. So everything's going to be like pretty touch and go, I think, by the time it gets there. And
do you
I
think
think some
Nightmare will go?
Flack can afford it.
Yeah, I reckon they will.
You're right.
I mean, some of the problem is the nature of this last chance qualifier is you're inviting all the sort of like below top, like fourth onwards teams in every region, which invariably are the teams with the least funding to fund themselves in these events.
Yeah.
So you're just sort of almost setting these teams up in these impossible situations, you know? Like Sakura are invited, right? Extinction are invited. But it's like, but it's like they've invited teams that sort of explicitly don't have the funding to send their team there, and then haven't got a prize pool to then like make like a break-even event at least.
We were excited to win the ESL Saudi Challenge because you get the last chance qualifier confirmed, right? And we thought we get it paid for, but we just get an invite, which anyone can join anyway.
So congrats on the invite, mate.
What was the point?
And because you can't play in it, you're not even get the prize money for qualifying for it, right?
Exactly. We won't even get 5.5k.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say?
You show up at the LCQ, even if you qualified for the event, just to see if you can get that money. You know, like there's the selection criteria for the 16 teams is so dicey, so ropey at this point that it's like, I know we're qualified, but like, can we play in the LCQ anyway?
Well,
if there's one thing I've learned about rules in Saudi tournaments, is the roster rules are pretty flexible depending on who you speak to. So you might be.
I think what would happen is they'd let you play, and then after the fact, they DQ you from EWC as a whole for
it. You play, and then we'll let you know later if it was okay or not. You know, we'll let you. We'll do but didn't the rules for the LCQ aren't they like okay? If you're an OWCS team, you have to play with the same roster, but doesn't that like leave the option for like Vision, for example, who are definitely going to go to like sign all the best European or Korean players, depending on what they want to do, that didn't qualify for OWCS and form a super team and go?
Are there just no roster restrictions for like new teams? No, so it's let's say you're just a brand new team. Let's say we made an uncoachable team, right? And we just reached out to a bunch of people who didn't qualify for the event. Could we just sign them and put together like
it says you have to register for a region. So we would have to like wear a Korean team or wear a European team, and then we would have those. But if you say you're a Korean team, then you could just get loads of Koreans. I mean, like I guess like the play would be like Vision could potentially just get like players from let's say that we finish fourth and we don't qualify. They could pick the bones of like us and Gen.G and make some sort of like Korean European super team, and in theory be allowed to compete.
Say they're a Korean team. I guess they can't because they qualified through the Saudi challenge, right? So they'd qualified as
but even then you could I don't know how you would do it, but that might be
but then they can just say, okay, we don't want the invite through the Saudi challenge and we just want to sign up. Yeah, we're
going to get a new team, a brand new Vision Esports team that's a Korean team that has a few of the same players, but
it's so weird. No one knows. No one knows. What a shit tournament.
Because in theory, they could Heesung, Kev, Choice A1, Violet +1, and they could like do it. I mean, but then even then, you're still not beating Falcons. So what's the fucking point?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, even
a lot of effort to lose to Falcons. The problem is because ZETA Division are there as well. Even if Falcons like continue to shit the bed, you need to beat both teams to get there. So it's really cooked. Should we talk a little bit about North America? Because North America have also been qualifying for the Esports World Cup. Some people even tell you they're a better region out of the Western regions. up at the top already, GK Esports. I think, and probably at this point, no surprises. You know, they continue their good form from stage 1. Still finished top of the regular season. Probably still look like the strongest team in the region. Had a lot of tight games against Team Liquid, even against Nightmare. Even the SSG match in the upper bracket, which they won 3-1, actually really could have gone to like map 5 quite easily, I think, give or take a Bliss intervention, but it can happen. But GK, I think still probably strong favourites to win the entire region. That'd be fair.
I don't know about that. I think.
Do you think Liquid will win next week?
It's hard to say. I think Liquid has like better practice results, but Liquid has very often had better practice results, honestly. Like even in stage 1, Liquid felt like the strongest team, not GK, honestly.
Also now it's like it's the Liquid are now the choker
like
narrative, because it used to be GK that had the
I know what you mean, where it was like GK was dominating, but we also didn't play GK towards the end, so it was kind of hard to like I just think overall Liquid has had like really like consistently strong scrim results like almost always, you know. But then they have these like big fumbles, like, you know, it's like they lost the map 5 to us, and then they lost the map 5 to Nightmare as well. They kind of like fumbled their draft, and now like they lost to GK map 5 in the regular season when I think everyone was saying that GK didn't look that strong early on. And now, I mean, GK is really solid, but Nightmare, I feel like Liquid is at a new peak for themselves right now. I feel like they're at a level of dominance that maybe they haven't had at all in North America so far. But then they did also like drop a map to Nightmare in their upper bracket run, but they also kind of completely fucking dominated Nightmare on some of the other maps. So it's really hard to pred. I'd say that like on paper, Liquid looks better nowadays. Like you look at the scrims and Liquid looks like they're a little bit better. But GK, like their choker narrative, it's gone. They're immune to bright lights at this point, right? Like now GK, they rise to the occasion instead. We're just going to completely flip the script. So yeah, I think Liquid are good for it this time. But why do I say that? Too many scrim results. Too many scrims. I got to ignore all the scrims. I've just got to go all in on narrative. I've got to go all in on narrative to GK. Good for
it. So you've talked yourself into it.
It's so hard, you know. Like I really feel like Liquid, they've just got like this fantastic roster on paper, you know. Like it really, everything on paper works, and the removal of Knife and the addition of Zera just makes everything better for them too. You know, like before they had Knife, who couldn't speak a lick of English, was constantly getting picked, was this big problem. And then Liquid have just gone and taken the star player from the team that beat them on map 5 and replaced their weakest link. So it's like it's absolutely criminal if Liquid can't come first by now, because they were supposed to come first in stage 1 and they couldn't even come top 2. And now they've gone and stripped one of the best parts away from GK. They've had to replace Zera with Mamo, and like if they can't do it now, can they ever? So I feel like I'll put my money on like Liquid winning a absolute like barn burner situation. But you know, if Liquid can't win this one, then you just got to call them chokers at some point. There's just like an inability to perform. So once again, we're in playoffs, and once again, I'm calling a team chokers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I mean, the way you put it really sounds like Liquid should just win. It really sounds like...
No, but that's the thing. Once again, it should happen on paper, right?
Yeah.
They just keep fucking it up. So yeah, surely this is the time. This is their time. Because stage 1 was really their time. Like it was like Malga comp meta, and they were so good at Malga too. Like they were for sure like the best Malga team, and they just shit the shades.
Yeah, I have to say too, like credit to GK, like losing their best player, and then just it doesn't look like it's really affected them too much. Still look like won every game and stuff. I guess like similar ironically to what AGG did when we talk about Korea, whereas like they feels like they lost their coach and various players, but actually somewhere the team itself, whoever they bring in, also looks really good. I think Will's look pretty solid too. But yeah, I don't know which way it goes. My feeling is I would have said the same. Liquid was slightly better, but it's just vibes for me, to be fair.
I think both teams look good, to be honest.
Yeah.
GK is like the best team in the region at finding their own way every time, like in every meta. Like in stage 1, Malga was meta for playoffs. They didn't touch Malga. They barely used it at all. They found their own way with Hazard and Ram and all these different comps. This stage, they've had some like struggles throughout, but now like when push comes to shove, again, like they've found their way. They start using Sim, which is something that like nobody in North America was really touching. They continue to use like their Hazard stuff. They make their own way with like Bap Weaver. I think they're like a very unique team, and they always find something that suits their strengths and then play it. And like other teams don't really get much practice against it because it's their thing.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly love teams that go that route. And I mean, TM is doing the same now. And if we remember, even last year in Stockholm, everyone was playing Mauga, Echo, Reaper, and then TM just play Ash, you know, and you can't practice against it.
Yep.
And you show up in the official, you go against it, and it's so oppressive and it's so good. So I honestly love teams that play like this. So
same with NRG, right, as well, back at Stockholm.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because even coming into that Stockholm, everyone was sort of like writing NRG off as they're just going their own way. They've got no hope, though. It's not going to work. But then actually ended up outperforming most of the teams who sort of went with the herd.
That's why we should have done the sim at Stockholm, Seicoe, mate.
We really should have. But let's not go there.
Shit.
So yeah, 50-50 matchup. I guess the question for you then, Max, is are SSG also, are you going to be the third team to make it? And how close are you guys to the sort of top two?
I would hope so, honestly. I think our results have like pretty consistently trended up for like the past few weeks. We had a bit of a fumble in terms of that GK match, I suppose, but maybe that's a little bit of like a preparation issue. In the sense that like we didn't really scrim Europe, and then they just pulled out the sim, and I felt like we were pretty poor in reacting to the sim. Maybe the sim is like really good and a big issue. Maybe we need to continue figuring something out there. Like we haven't scrimmaged against sim since the match. And watching it back, it felt like it was winnable, but it's very oppressive. You know, like there's lots of problems to solve, and it's hard to figure out all of that in the match in the moment. So, not great, I suppose, but I think we're for sure like expected to be the third seed at this point, right? I don't think that it's impossible for us to beat Nightmare and then continue running through the bracket. You know, like continue playing against Liquid and GK and actually, you know, win. Like if you watch the GK match, like that was actually pretty close, no? So I think if we have the benefit of an additional week figuring things out, there's also a patch change coming, which could, you know, hurt or benefit us, I suppose. But yeah, I think for sure we're expected to beat Nightmare though. Nightmare has looked like they've just trended down and down and down and down throughout the entire stage.
But I've been saying,
yeah, but you're putting them against Mag, mate. Like, grow up. And you guys have been down and down and down and down and down as well. So like, come on, like you got no hill to stand on. Yeah, whatever, dude. Fucking put your sine wave down. Nightmare have just looked. I suppose like the first time I saw them go to map 5 versus Extinction, it was like, shit, they really should have just banned out that Tracer. You know, Zombo was just doing a real bread to fish thing. But the second time, it's like, there's just no fucking way this is happening again. And it was such a dogfight, and it looked so incredibly difficult for Nightmare. Like, Rocket was just dead silent. The supports were just dead every single fight. It looks like Nightmare really is still afflicted by that timeless curse where those core players are just destined to forever come forth. Like they do well at the start of every single stage all the time, and as the going continues to get tough and the pressure continues to mount, they actually just shrivel. It's you know, I can spin a narrative around GK and around Liquid, you know, trying to claim that one of those teams are chokers, but like really, like the timeless curse, this is well established at this point. Like this is happening in 2024. I feel like it's probably been happening with some of them before they were on like a Wisp or something like that. But are you guys familiar with the timeless curse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Rocket. It's Rocket, Chronic, and Luke Mino, right? Those three?
I think it's like Luke Mino. Luke Mino was on it before. I think Rocket might be the only timeless core player that remains for the curse. Because, you know, like Lep and whatnot. Like Luke Mino was on timeless last stage, but Rocket is the one who's been like storied with that curse for a very, very long time.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, now we've got like the teams that came 4th and 5th last stage that merged together to make something that was better than the sum of their parts. But now again, the curse appears to remain because they really have just trended down and down. Like they were really at the start of the stage. Like Chronic is just unreal at Freya, like so good at Freya. I think Chronic is better than anyone in EMEA at Freya. Like he's just a freak on Freya.
Better than Quartz? Better than Quartz?
Yep. Chronic is seriously on Freya. Oh my god. Put your fucking European woes away. But they know
We're doing it. We're getting them in lobby.
I mean, I have to say from the NA I watched. I mean, Chronic did seem incredible on Freya.
Yeah,
Always
it's true.
finding the picks.
Yeah.
Like
Did you watch
especially when
that Liquid match?
yeah,
it was
it's-
visually
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So yeah, they nerfed Freya. People got a little bit better at playing into Freya. And as a result, Nightmare has just sort of like lost their biggest strength, or like, you know, at least people started to figure out how to beat their biggest strength. So they've trended down. It's also playoffs time, which means the curse is starting to take effect, like really starting to take effect. Like Luke Minnow's just swapping at her in an elimination game, you know, like it's just come on now. It's looking disastrous for them. So I think we're good for seed 3 at a bare minimum.
yeah. I mean,
that
I watched the.
Oh, God.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to talk like that extinction game was so ugly for Nightmare. Like even though they won, it felt so painful. So many of the fights they were losing was just like Luke Mino dying before the fight, Ajax in like the crucial fight in Ilios, like so many things that just have no right to go wrong or shouldn't be able to happen, all going wrong for them, and stuff that wasn't happening in the regular season.
Like Leps Ajax into Hattori on 160 ping, and then straight after Luke Minnow's just like triple pre-fighted into swapping his hero. Like it's so fucking messy. I don't know. It's really like really unexpected, to be honest. I think, you know, curses aside, I really thought that second extinction match, that there was no way it was going to happen to them again. Like there was no way that it would go to 5. But
Yeah.
I don't know, where there's a will.
I mean, to be fair, SSG, like you guys looked like, even though you lost that GK match, it was actually really, really close. No, like that Coliseum, it was one fight away from winning.
Yeah, but you know, you can't drop 2 maps at the start of the series. Kind of get. I guess Dorado, they didn't full cap us; they held us on second. So maybe even there's a case for saying the Dorado is close, but I don't really feel like the Dorado was that close, honestly. Like we won like 2 fights on Aerotech, so not really.
No, I see a world where if you guys do beat Nightmare, that you can beat GK or Liquid as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Liquid don't play like, you know, scrim gods, I think they're always beatable, because there's just always an angle for Vega to fuck it up, you know. Like there's always a chance. And yeah, GK as well. Yeah, I think like if we solve just a little bit around what they were doing in the match, then that's like an extremely beatable team. I do think that GK this stage is weaker than what GK was last stage. Like they were. With Zera, they had this aura around them where it was like, holy shit, this guy's just fucking doing it. But somehow, like, you split up the duo of Zera and Admiral. Like those two in the side fight, there was some aura to Zera and Admiral on the side. I never thought I'd be saying this about Ollie, but like he's just fucking delivered all year long, mate. I don't know how to. I cannot shit on Oliver anymore, because he's just like, he's done it. Like he's got the aura in the side, but you split him up with Zera, and I feel like that's gone a little bit. There's no longer this like this terrifying duo in the side, and Zero with Vega, it's not as scary either, because Vega just dies. So I really think both of those teams are beatable on a good day. We just have to figure it out and maybe get some monkey buffs in the patch. That would be nice too.
That would be fucking lovely, man. I agree with that.
Please no.
Do you reckon Ollie's
no?
No.
Do you reckon Ollie's the best spin support NA for sure, right?
The best main support NA isn't even American.
And do you reckon he's better than the main supports in EU?
I think
I swear he's so good these days. Like he really is. Like every time I watch him play, how is his break so good? Maybe he just needed a real coach. That's all he needed, you know. That's all it is.
I think it's classic. It's classic main support theory, where like if somebody tries to do anything on that role, they're throwing the game. It's like Kellex comes back from like 3 years retirement, just fucking chilling, playing GTA, and like literally all you need to do in that role, just don't throw the game.
Yeah.
Just do not be the problem. If you can avoid being the problem in main support, you may very well be the best main support in the world, because all of these main supports that just fucking die, like it's always their fault. You're watching Lep hit an Ajax. It's like, who cares how fast you can wall ride? If you die in the clutch, if you can't get your fucking beat off when it matters, you're the problem. And Oliver, like he recognizes his limits, you know, he has the mechanics to do enough, but he won't throw the game doing it. You know, he's got discipline. He's not going to run out in front of main and Ajax, except for that time that he Ajaxed like 3 times in a series really recently, which is kind of undermining my narrative a little bit. But I do think Ollie's like really rock solid, and he doesn't overextend, and he doesn't try to do too much. Whereas some of these players, you know, the funny Astros of the world, they've got, unfortunately, a little bit too much of a gift mechanically, which means that they are cursed to throw the game eternally.
A classic Icarus situation.
I wouldn't say Astro has that gene, but players like FD God for sure do. You know, like
Okay,
FD God
is the extreme case of that.
yeah, he's the fastest loser in the world, but he
He's
just
so
ajaxes.
fast.
He
He's
just
so fast.
ajaxes so much. But I mean, Admiral looks really, really good. Like he somehow
His
he's
flexibility's
always
good too.
Yeah, that's true. I was very surprised. I saw him on Curie as well.
Yeah.
And maybe Anna, and it actually looks really
Even
good.
his
Zed as
Alari,
well.
you remember his Alari?
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, he's a
Ilari
fucking
as well.
hyperflex.
Yeah.
4 billion cents.
he's-
It's not possible, but
Do you think he's
Maybe
questioning you?
Chris, maybe you're the curse. I'm sorry to
maybe.
say.
But all that discipline Max is talking about, who taught him that? You know, who's that come from?
Okay.
Yeah,
To be fair, that is
yeah,
actually classic Chris theory. Do nothing. Do nothing in AFK.
yeah.
Look after
AFK
poor Landon on
the payload.
Baptiste.
yeah,
AFK
Look
with
after
really
Landon
good angles
as-
for the payload.
yeah.
Look after Landon as he gets dived by these elite Korean teams for 6 hours every day, will you?
But I do think it's incredible. Like someone like Killix, you know, last year even wins stage 1 with TM, retires for stage 2, comes back for stage 3, wins stage 3. You know, like, and then this year sits out stage 1, comes back for stage 2,
Right.
goes undefeated. Like Killix is just a winner, you know. Like
He's
it's
just a winner.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just a winner.
His longevity is actually like.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the best in the history of Overwatch?
Unmatched. Is anyone
He was
else?
season
other-
1.
other-
He was actually
You're right.
season 1
Yeah,
player,
you're
right?
right. Yeah.
Any other season 1 players still around?
I mean, Twilight and Rouge hung, but you know,
Was Twilight season 1?
he was maybe too young for season 1. He was season 2
Yeah.
with. But
I mean, he did
So
play
Killix-
before, right? In
yeah,
like,
I was gonna say he
Contenders
realistically
and
has
stuff,
like the
whatever it
same
was called,
longevity.
like
but
Apex.
obviously, Twilight also took a massive chunk out. Well, I suppose Calyx takes like years off all the time as well. But
Yeah,
no,
'cause
I
he-
agree actually.
Yeah. He retired from Toronto as well. Then he comes back to BH, wins everything again, you know? Like it's just Killix is just a winner.
He just loves retiring too. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, sucker for a good
Maybe
retirement.
there's something about it, you know? Like he's pacing himself. Frequent breaks allowing the longevity, you know?
Just
yeah.
like how he is as a player, where he really knows his limits. He never throws the game. He also knows the limits of his career. He never overextends as a player. He starts to get sick of it. He just stops playing.
Actually got a lot of time for that.
Oh, Calyx is so good.
Elsewhere in North America, probably not a huge amount to talk about. Extinction had the dogfight. Sakura got kind of obliterated by SSG actually in that lower bracket game. I mean, SSG were probably always going to win that one, but I was probably still disappointed with Sakura in just how easy it was, you know? Like, I think Clear had like an absolute stinker of a map 1, sort of like your Diva dead pre-fight, like the first couple of fights, first 2-3 fights in a series is a really bad omen. And then
we were
didn't really get a
just
whole lot better.
crying at that in the game. It was like you know after the third time that Clear has shifted into 5, died, and then had his corpse Suzu'd that he's going to be tilted out of this world. There was just no fucking hope for them after that one, to be honest. Like I've never seen a mental get shattered so quickly in a match. Like just 3 fights in and the game is over. This is a real disaster class from the Sakura lads. I don't know. People were expecting I don't know if people were expecting a dogfight between us and Sakura, but like, you know, everyone says Sakura is like way better than Extinction. And then Nightmare goes to 5 dogfight with Extinction, and we
Twice.
absolutely clap Sakura into another dimension. It's like I looked at the match thread for the Sakura, not for the Sakura, for the Nightmare Extinction game, and like one of the top comments is like, "Oh, congratulations to SSG on qualifying for EWC." It's just oh, poor Sakura lads.
Yeah, I don't think they would like. I don't think it was a dogfight, but I thought there was a chance they could take a map or something, you know, like a right bands, right situation. But after was it Oasis for first map? After those first few fights on Oasis, it looks impossible.
I've been like consistently
Okay,
confused
so-
by the way that team drafts. Honestly, like I thought they were going to take us to Circuit on map 2. I thought that Circuit was like their kind of ace in the hole, where they have Clear that can play all of these like, you know, like all the sleeper meta tanks for Circuit. Like all people love to play like the Sigmas and stuff like that, but these are just fake heroes on the map because you put an off tank player in and they just go fucking flying in on Diva and Zarya and all this shit. I thought that they were going to do that. I thought they were going to go and play like, you know, Zarya, Gen.G or Diva and push out backliners, but they just didn't pick Circuit. We just didn't even have to play it. So I don't know. Map 1 they banned BAP as well. I was like, something that we wanted to do, not them. But something about a gift horse, you know.
Then last major region to cover is Korea. Korea have actually finished their playoffs, so we've got everything confirmed. The team's going to the Esports World Cup are, of course, Crazy Raccoon, who are going since they won the major in stage 1, and they've been joined by T1 and All Gamers Global. So maybe we should start. We'll start with I guess who was eliminated first. Obviously, Onside Gaming were eliminated, but they were really the sort of odd one out in these top 6 teams when you look at the rosters. So no surprises there. Falcons got probably the worst draw they could have hoped for in terms of getting Crazy Raccoon in the first round in a single elimination tournament. And to be honest, this was probably the best Falcons have played in a while. I know they still lost to Crazy Raccoon, but obviously who didn't this tournament? But it felt like this was Falcons' best in a while, but there's probably some history to catch up on here because we've not really talked about Falcons since the fall off that much. So what's the read here on what's going wrong?
So I was kind of disappointed we didn't talk about it after the roster changes because it would be a lie if I said I like predicted the fall off like this bad, but I kind of felt that the changes they made wasn't going to improve them enough to negate the 7-man roster ego clashes, all of that, which was like inevitably going to ensue, you know? Like players like that, I think some of them are, like, I mean, you see what's happening in proper. There's no way this guy is taking like the idea of being benched well, you know? And then they start to lose a few scrims or a few matches, and I feel like it exacerbates a lot of problems. I think, I don't know, it mustn't have been a podcast. That's when me and Max spoke about something. Maybe it was at your wedding, mate. Maybe we were chatting about it at the wedding.
Talking shop.
It was just, you know, at the table talking some shop. But yeah, I understand the someone thing because it feels like when Winston is strong, it's like the one comp where they struggled with. But yeah, I don't know. I look at it from like a coach's perspective, and I just know that like everybody knows Falcons was never an easy team to coach and manage at the best of times, you know, like that. It feels like at least the idea internally is that Crazy Raccoon is quite a chill bunch of guys and Falcons is not chill, you know, like there's like some real managing to be done there. And it feels like more cooks in the kitchen may in fact, you know, cause more issues in the kitchen. I still think they're probably not the 5th best team in Korea. My feeling is that if they like in crunch time, I think they still would have maybe finished like 3rd, maybe. And I still think they'll get through LCQ over ZETA. But yeah, I don't know. That's my feeling is that it's just made like that, like the merit signing. It feels like any upgrade in like the hit scan. It just feels so slight compared to the potential downsides of the harmony, you know.
Well, I actually thought if there was any team that could manage this, like Falcons had to do this last year as well. You know, when that original Falcons team got put together and it was sort of a bit of a rocky start and everyone had the same sort of theories of like, how easy is this group of players to manage and get on the same page? I thought because they'd had like one iteration of it, if there's any sort of team or that could do it again, Falcons would be the best prepared or best set up team to do it. But that's not come to pass at all.
I mean, I thought from their performance in the playoff bracket just now that they've sort of not solved it, right? Because they've still got proper on the bench and they're still in the LCQ now. But they look pretty good, didn't they? That was like 4-2 best Crazy Raccoon.
It was actually like a really performance, I think, since the roster changes.
It's just all they had to do was kill someone and just go back to playing Harmon all the time. Someone was the problem because that guy just couldn't fucking win a map most of the time.
His stocks are like it's like they've fallen fruit. Yeah, like actually kind of insane how I think no one will put him anywhere near the best tank in the world now, just based off these last few months, which is a shame.
I think it's just a really like insanely unlucky meta for the guy, you know? Like Orisa, huge, ball, valuable, Winston, shit on by Freya, Hazard, DLC tank from when he was not in the game because he was in contract hell. It's like everything to fuck someone has come to pass. Even Malga, like not his strongest. Like Malga was one of like the pocket picks to get your way out of this, and he can't play that very well. It's like everything this guy is good at, he can't play right now. It makes him look so shit.
But everyone was saying he's like the one tank that can play in everything.
Yeah,
no? Like no one looked at him like a monkey one trick, like a god Winston. You know, obviously he's really good on Winston, but I think his real strength lied within that he can just play everything at a good level.
It turns out it's not everything.
Yeah, now there's like 4 heroes you can't play, which are all really strong. But to be honest, if you're a tank that can't play 4 heroes, then you can't be that good either, you know? Like it.
Yeah.
Well, if you think like back at his peak, I guess like in like for Florida Overwatch League Season 6 victory, he was really swapping between what? Just Sigma, Ryan,
Winston.
and Ryan, Orisa, and maybe Winston a couple of places.
I don't think he played Orisa at all, right? Wasn't he like avoiding that?
He played bits of Orisa.
Okay.
But he would always be trying to counter swap one up.
Yeah, he has a Zarya
like
in him as well,
bits.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, so he does have good
His
flexibility.
Doom, I think, is good too. But
oh yeah,
his like
But
his
the
Doom would
problem
always
is-
causes so many problems. But
All those heroes we've just listed, have we seen Sigma, Doom, maybe a tiny bit of Zarya, right? But all of a sudden, it felt like at the time he had loads of flexibility because he was good at loads of relevant heroes in the meta. Now he's good at none of the relevant heroes in the meta.
yeah.
yeah, but surely if you can play all those heroes, you got an Orisa in you, no? Like I swear, Orisa is not rocket
He's
science.
just such a bot on Orisa, dude. Like, have you watched
Okay.
him play it? Like,
No, I haven't.
he's genuinely the problem, mate. Like, I don't know
Okay.
how he does it. Like, he's got such a high level understanding of so many different tanks, and you put him on the horse, and he's just the fucking issue. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Maybe he's
okay.
he's one coach away from leveling the fuck up. Falcons needs to hire one more coach.
Maybe they need
Gumba,
Chris.
bring Gumba back.
They need Chris.
Get
Mate,
Chris.
yeah, good shout.
Yeah, get Chris.
Thank you, Seicoe, mate.
No worries, mate.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you, Vona. I still actually expect him to win the LCQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's no way ZETA do it. ZETA is cursed to forever fail. Like,
Yeah,
now
it'll
looked like
never
a good
qualify for
looked like
LAN.
it looked like a good meta for ZETA too. Like, Orisa's huge, Sim is huge, which Pelican's supposed to be really good at. Like, the supports are on like Kappa equalizer heroes and shit that Finn can actually play. Like, there was a real
True.
chance for them.
True.
And what do they get? Failure.
I mean, it's true. Like in this meta, I swear Bernard's the best. Like, well, Donghack's the best tank in the world, but on like an Orisa Hazard, Bernard's insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his Orisa is insane, and
Yeah.
even that's not enough for them to win. To be honest, the strength, like Korea, is like so strong. It's almost as strong as Europe these days in terms of like the depth of like these teams. You know.
I can't believe how good AG is, dude. Like,
Yeah.
how
True.
has AG come that far? Like, when we scrimmed against that AG core, admittedly they had Top Dragon, not Sonjin, which is a huge difference, really a huge difference. But they just didn't feel that strong, man. Like, they just didn't feel that good at all. But
Yeah.
now they've got Freya, they've got AIDS on Freya just fucking pounding, and Sonjin just playing musical heroes of like what cancer can he play? He's on Venture and a Sim and just like all these AIDS characters all the time, making it so difficult for people. Like,
He's looked really good, right, Sonjun?
Yeah, he's looked
What I've
insane.
seen, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what they've done is super impressive because we talk about like the idea of like, oh, GK lost their best player, but AGG got kind of like picked for parts, right? Like
Yeah.
they lost the greatest coach in Overwatch history in Gultech. They lost like the greatest Gen.G in history. They lost others, right? Like who else did they lose? Pepe, did
Pepe
play
as
for-
well.
Pepe,
fucking
yeah.
the best Sigma in human history. And it feels like they're stronger this year than last year, right? For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what I was expecting with Sunjin was you'd get like a bit of a wider pool of heroes. But I think back to, obviously he was playing on Ping at the time, but when he was on whatever they were called, was it Timeless at the time? Or maybe some version of that sort of
Had a
like
T in
VNA
it.
roster. Had a T in it for sure. And he was playing a decent amount of hit scans. So I was like, okay, he's like sort of mid-tier, flexible Korean DPS player. But he's actually he's been popping off on all his heroes. Like when he swapped to Venture in that the third place match, he was just hard carrying every fight. There was nothing ZETA Division could do. Like obviously they could have swapped to a more useful hero at some point, which they didn't. But actually into it, Sunjin was doing so much. He was like, wasn't really surprised by this.
Do we think that Crazy Raccoon threw their matches so they can meet Falcons? Do we believe that narrative?
No.
No.
I
No?
just
No,
never
no.
see.
No.
I just never see teams throwing. Like you hear it all the time.
How?
No, but like I know,
no,
'cause,
it's-
I know, Seicoe. I know your mentality. You know, like you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know.
But-
I mean, you can talk about it.
Yeah. Go on then, say it.
No, you can.
Okay. There was it was before EWC. We had like a game. It was like some shit quick esports
It was-
in like it was
yeah.
in like the Face It League or something. and it was like, if we'd lost that game, it would have killed VP. And Seicoe wanted to just fucking lose it so that VP wouldn't go to LAN. And I said, no, we're not fucking throwing a game. We won it. And then VP came in and beat us in EWC, you know, like we got put in their group. But people said the same. People said to me, oh, you need to be careful. Alcad is going to throw against Gen.G. So Gen.G get top 4, and then Alcad can immediately pick Gen.G and qualify so they don't have to players. And it's just, I don't know, I think it's like really easy to talk about, but to actually go through the process of throwing a game, I swear it just never happens, you know?
In China, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was that one time in China.
I mean,
but that's it looks so obvious. That's the problem, right? You can tell
Sometimes-
immediately. Like to subtly throw a game is so difficult.
but sometimes it's just objectively the better play, Chris. Like when I suggested it to you, we should have done it. Because of you,
Yeah.
we lost to them in EWC and we almost got knocked out instantly.
I mean, it's true, but in competition there is there's like
Competitive
a handshake that you
integrity,
try to
okay.
win. Yeah.
Just
Okay,
like
Integrity.
have some balls,
Hmm.
mate. Like
Okay.
You know, I'll
Okay, but-
cross many lines. You know, many lines. I'm happy.
So
to
how
cross.
did Crazy Raccoons lose 3-0 to AGG? They lost to someone else as well, and then 1 week later, all of a sudden, they're just the best team in the world again. How?
Yeah, but
Surely.
State.
Crazy Raccoon and Falcons have like mastered the art of the ramp up. Like as soon as it gets to like the most crucial matches of the season or the stage, they're always in top form. It happens like how many times do you go to a major event? You'll be playing at the boot camp, you'll be playing these teams, Falcons kind of beatable, Crazy Raccoon, maybe touch and distance, and then as soon as you get to the actual important games, there's just no chance all of a sudden. They've just found this new gear, you know?
Yeah,
And I feel like they've really gotten that sort of like, you know, we talk about like teams peaking at the right time or anything like that. I feel like Crazy Raccoon in particular, but I think it also applies to Falcons. Because again, if you look at Falcons versus Crazy Raccoon in that playoff game, Falcons were like 10 times better than they had been all regular season almost, you know?
Yeah.
There's just something about like the pressure, the stakes that just like sharpens everyone's focus. And I mean, all the players on the teams in question are like huge veterans, right? So they all know how to manage themselves, I think, to be ready for these big tournaments or these big games. So I think it's
Yeah.
just a combination of that.
Yeah. It's like when Max has got his game against Nightmare, and I just look at the players on that lineup, and I think the pressure that's on the game, and SSG won't lose because it's regardless of which team is stronger or meta or anything, it's just stakes, and it's why like the top teams will always win, and the teams that never win will never win, you know.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's so easy to beat a team. Well, it's not so easy, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing in the Crazy Raccoon versus Nightmare. Those two games, like the difference is like one is losers bracket, one is winners bracket. It adds such a dimension, you know, like the stakes behind it. Just stake theory.
So what you're saying is TU will be performing better than usual as well?
I mean, of course,
In
they're
the
going
lower
to playoffs
bracket?
last year, lose all the regular season games. Playoffs, we're there for it.
Sounds good, mate.
Third. Yeah.
I would fucking take. I would take a third. To be honest, believe it or not.
I believe it. Where were we? We're talking about stake theory.
stakes, yeah. TU, insane with high
TU
stakes.
versus VP.
VP can't operate the Symmetra hero, but neither can you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is there ever a meta? Like, you just need all the Winston buffs in the world if you want to beat VP, right? Because if you have to play any of these ground tank mirrors, you're just going to get chefed up.
I guess so. I don't know. Like,
I
the
think TU
VP game we played in the official was really disappointing because it was like so not close. Like I think, to be honest, like against TM in our scrims, Seicoe confirmed this. The scrims aren't very close. Like we don't really like we get kind of rolled in scrims, but against VP, every scrim, even if we lose more maps, like it's competitive. You know, we'll take like one or two, sometimes even 3 maps a block and.
Ooh.
But then the official is just no. The
3 maps
stakes
in
are
a
too
block.
high.
Shit. It's quite-
Ooh.
I mean,
Big stake
so-
theory there.
But then when the steak gets cooking, I guess VP are good for it.
Let him fry.
But all the pressure's on them now. No one expects TU to qualify. Everyone thinks if VP went from unbeaten to not qualify for EWC, that would be embarrassing, and heads would have to roll. So See if
Smash his
Shockwave.
head
What was
gonna roll?
Shockwave on map 1 against Pets? He was like 5 and 8 or something. Yeah, Lights
5
might-
and
might
8
get-
versus Peps.
He was at some point. You remember?
Jeez, I didn't watch that game.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if Shockwave's good enough under the lights to get it
To
done.
be
Well,
fair,
if
I
there's
don't-
one
I don't
thing
really
I've
watch the
learned-
minor region.
If there's one thing I've learned about Shockwave is he's always good under pressure, and that's a fact, Chris. Like he's
got
I
that
don't know,
mindset.
Nah, it's true. Like he really does. Like the pressure doesn't get to Shockwave.
Can we get some counter propaganda from Chris? Can we get a little bit of self belief at some point? It's like it was legit. Like you just roll in here and you're just talking about how you're coming forth. Like
Yeah, I mean it's true, but the thing is, I'm
It's
just waiting for
true.
the cup. I'm waiting for the copium to hit me, and I've got about 2.5 hours, and it's in my bank account. The copium is back. The
No,
Lizard's
it's the only thing in your bank
entertainment.
account at the moment.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but like the copium and the patch notes are gonna hit my bank account like fucking crack, and I'm here for it. Okay.
Oh god, I cannot wait. I'm gonna have to set an alarm for this one.
What do you
Oh
mean set an alarm? Are you not going to be awake in 2 hours' time?
no, certainly not.
All right. Also, on the disappointing end of the scale in Korea was, of course, ZETA Division, who, even with a few extra qualification spots, can't find their way to out of Korean playoffs. They fall to AG in the third place match in the end, and again, just felt tremendously disappointing for all of them. Again, really, but also, I don't know, they are just potentially even the worst of these top 5 teams. Even though it feels like it hurts more because they're such a storied roster, etc., and they've been so close so many times. But I find it really hard to justify them above any of the other teams.
We're talking about Zeta, right?
ZETA Division, yeah.
I think it's just like ultimately they've had this like support line reroll, but it hasn't actually like shifted up the power of their support line very much at all. I think their DPS line, like having Pelican in 100% of the time, it doesn't address the fact that, you know, it's never the flex DPS on that roster that are getting bent over backwards. It's always the skipper, right? Like it's always Laura having the difficulties. Like it's lip gapping him. It's aid gapping him on Freya now.
Yeah.
It's these like real top dogs that always perform just like a little bit better than Flora. And then their backline always winds up feeling a little bit second rate compared to the real top dogs. And even with Alpha E re-rolled over to it, it's like, now you've just got the Alpha UCO instead. And that's not helpful at all, is it really? That's not going to get you over the line. So I think that roster has just like comfortably slipped from being the permanent third place to now being the permanent 4th or 5th place because T1 has leveled up. Like T1 has really become like a top 2 roster. And AG, I mean, they were on the way up last stage. So now Z is just getting kicked further and further down the standings.
Yeah, I think if anything, especially with T1, because T1 obviously they won the seeding tournament just before this, right? Came in with a top seed. And if anything, by the time they got to that grand final, right, they 4-0 ZETA Division in that semi-final. They 4-0 one side as well. They get to this grand final, like coming into it, they had to be favourites. Like even though it's Crazy Raccoon, it's always Crazy Raccoon, right? But actually, based on all the recent form, T1 came in strong favourites and looked like the best team in the world, I thought. Like right up until that grand final happened.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. I probably would have, to be honest, if I was gambling, I would have gambled on Crazy Raccoon just because of history and like this, like the same thing, the stakes, you know, like
Stake theory.
I mean, whatever you say, T1 is like actually like 100% the real deal, and Hack is absolutely outrageous. Like he's the best player in the world, I'm pretty sure.
Didn't they get like mega reverse swept on Surabasa as well? Like they were up 2-0 and they had
Lip
like a final
had,
fight at 2-2 where Lip just went fucking like full ascendance mode to pull them from the brink. Ooh.
I mean, to be honest, T1 they look incredible. I'm not gonna like on so many different comps as well, you know. While other teams like Zeta, they just stick to Orisa, like Bab stuff. T1 just pulls out, what was it, Lucio, Curie, Ball, Venture, like all of a sudden.
On Runa's
like
happy.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just, they just look incredible.
Well, not only they pulled it out and they smashed ZETA Division with it,
Yeah.
and then when we went to Runa Sapi against Crazy Raccoon banned Ball, if I remember right. Like they didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. I think they like going into EWC. Like Crazy Raccoon will always be the favorites, I think, but like T1 could like 100% win it. I feel like they're Yeah, I don't know. Unless the patches. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think they're not even patchable. Like, it's just actually just a good team. Like, there's like no.
Yeah.
I swear it's like meta isn't even good for the heroes, which they're good at, and they still destroy everyone. So fair play to Rush, you know, like he knows what he's doing. I've always said that.
Mr. Nitty Gritty comes in again. I mean, I think the Seicoe has looked like so good, honestly. Like I was watching him play, and in like so many of these different matchups, like he just knows what to do. He's just doing his job immediately. Like instant judgment on whether he needs to be fighting side or flanking or playing main and slow. You know, you can allow the occasional fumble to a main support, to a flex support playing Lucio, but he looks so solid for somebody that is playing something that he shouldn't, like, you know, isn't very comfortable on. And like they can compete, you know, right to the top level, right to like, you know, Lucio Mirrors versus Crazy Raccoon. And it actually looks so good. That team is fucking awesome. And then Dark, maybe just him.
He is him.
Are we ready to have the conversation about the fact that Proud might be pretty good?
Have you got any sort of evidence to back up your claim?
I don't know. I saw a thread on Reddit the other day about how he might, you know, be like next up. So
anyone else really impressed by him?
Yeah, I'm really impressed by him. We need a Dark
by
thread.
AGG? Anyone else? Absolutely.
But yeah, actually, you know, let's say we hit the Esports World Cup, and then obviously Crazy Raccoon is still Crazy Raccoon. AG and T1 are both there, and there's like presumably Falcons or something in there as well. It actually is lining up to be like a really competitive field, I think. Because even though AG were like kind of smashed by Crazy Raccoon, they still look really competitive on a lot of these comps. Maybe AG a little bit more sort of limited by what's meta. Like I think you compare like the Seicoe to Lucio. Like that is like a hole for AG. Now they sort of have to contend with a little bit more. Same with like a few of the tanks, they have more holes in. So I think AG are probably on the weaker side of it, but like I think T1 Crazy Raccoon, like, really dead even in terms of power level. All right. Anything else from Korea that's worth mentioning?
No.
Not really? Yeah. Well, next time we'll see them probably will be those two teams at the last chance qualifier. I guess we talked a bit earlier about the last chance qualifier and which teams will actually go since they have to self-fund. But I think Falcons and ZETA Division are 100% going to be sending themselves because their chances are so reasonable to qualify.
Yeah.
It's set up some sort of history repeating itself situation where Falcons can once again deny ZETA Division a chance to go to the LAN in some kind of crucial map 5, map 7 situation. So history might repeat itself.
I don't think it'll even get that far. Hopefully ZETA Division just falls to pieces as well, you know?
Lose to Vision Esports or something.
Yeah. It would be good if they lost to Violet, actually.
Violet would be so up for that fixture. You know that for a fact, too.
The revenge match. Fuck.
Like, he's so stake-pilled in that match for sure. They've never been higher.
He's going to have the game of his life in that series if he gets the chance. Should we do... We kind of talked about it as we went along, but like predictions then? Quick predictions for EMEA.
Yeah, I'll take TM to win.
Yeah, I'll take TM to win.
TU to finish third.
Hunter.
Oh, can TU somehow come worse than fourth?
No, mate.
Is that still possible in the bracket?
It's not possible, mate.
Okay, I'll go Alcad 1 because Kelix is just a fucking winner. Alcad 1, TM2, VP3, TU4.
Okay, I'll go TM1, Alcad 2, TU3, VP4.
You're smoking crack. You must think the patch is going to fucking go nuclear.
Because no matter how bad we are, everybody is just... There's always that bit of doubt with our team. That you just... No, it's not even stakes. It's just you look at it and you think, fuck, they could like...
Yeah. No, you
always,
look at it
always in the back of your mind.
You're like they can't possibly be this bad. They can't. So something's just telling... I mean, you're right. They are. You're right.
It has been 6 months at this point.
But what a week we've got ahead of us. We're good for it, you know? What a week.
Slingshot, mate.
Yeah, I think I'm TM Alcad VP. Sorry, Chris.
Sounds good.
I mean, it's fair enough, man.
Then same for NA. I think I reckon SSG third. That's like the easy one.
Yeah.
I bet it's just between
Cheers.
GK and Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm going
GK.
TL.
New patch, GK.
Oh, and CommanderX is DC'd.
Oh,
No?
am I still here?
Has
No,
he?
he didn't.
Oh,
It's just a you issue, mate.
I mean,
You
my
are
technology's
having a
been
stroke
woeful
today.
today. It has been woeful.
Oh my god.
My day.
Was that you going TL, Chris?
Yeah.
I'm going.
Max? Oh, go on,
Oh,
Seicoe.
sorry. Oh, which
The
one?
Max
Yeah, okay.
doesn't
I guess
actually
I'm Max
clarify
as
at
well.
all.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant.
Max is
I'm going GK1, SSG2, TL3.
You bought the narrative on liquid failure.
Nah, Danny's a loser, so
That's
Oh.
true. That's true. Danny won't fucking invite anyone to scrims.
Yeah.
Perma cock watching the spec slots
Nah,
like
I mean,
Seicoe
it's
specking
really-
a scrim is gonna,
yeah.
it's gonna kill their season.
that's really incredible.
Just allergic to a good time, those fucking coaches over at Team Liquid. All right,
Yeah.
so obviously SSG 1, because, you know, we're good for that. Why not? SSG 1, GK 2, Liquid 3, because, yeah, Danny's a loser.
What?
Nightmare 4. I'm like really susceptible to propaganda, Max. So like, you know, you
Okay.
say like one thing and I'll just write
Yeah.
that. Like, let's just go for that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Then, all that's left is some kind of client of the week or client of the last 60 days.
Mm.
It's actually so hard. There must, because you just forget them, you know? Like, there must have been so
Yeah.
many unbelievable moments.
They're a dime a dozen.
But I can't think of any.
I'm trying to think.
There must, honestly, someone has done something hyper clienty in the last 60 days.
Oh,
There's no way that no one has.
there's no way it's been a peaceful 2
It
months.
doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a 60-day client-free situation.
Hmm.
Oh,
Well, I can think-
it's obvious.
Oh.
It's fucking
Oh, yeah.
obvious, isn't it? Mentally boomed, no?
Oh my
It's
god.
obvious it was there all along.
It is.
What
He's
happened?
like, okay, so he's like this like tier 27 coach, okay? And what did he do? He tweeted me or something about me being like an absolute. He still, you know,
He added you in Discord. He added you in Discord.
He's still hung up on the Ilios cope section from like 7 years ago, and he still can't believe
That might have
the
been our last
concept.
episode, honestly.
He still can't grasp the concept of why Ilios being in the map pool was uniquely unfair. But okay, it was too high a thing for him. And anyway, he was doing loads of this shit, and he was like tweeting about how like much of a shitbag I am. And I went, okay, fuck off, mate. And then loads of people from his team started in my DMs like, you know, this guy's an actual fucking psychopath. Like comes to work high or drunk every day, mentally abuses the entire team. And then they started to send me VODs of his coaching, and I was actually hate watching it so well. He did this paid review for like Shikigami or something in NA, and he argued for an hour and a half about like one Winston jump angle, and he's actually so far from like reality. Like he's flaming Dante for this staging jump, like, oh, this is the worst jump ever, and we should be able to like nade around the corner and kill him. And it's actually so entertaining. Like, the guy, and then he got kicked. Like it was like immediately after coming out against Chris, he got kicked like 3 days later, you know, and then he had to like retire and all of this shit. So it's him without a doubt. Like this guy is actually such an unbelievable client.
I can't find the message. It was in my Discord somewhere, but he was popping off at you, saying he was going to be Team UK coach and everything next. And then within 24 hours, fired for being a psychopath to his own team.
Yeah, I mean, he's insane. Apparently, I heard a rumor, okay? I heard a rumor that back in the day, he used to go around telling people, because his name's Graham and he's English, he used to go around telling people we were related. That's what he used to
No
do.
way.
That's what I heard. I heard he used to tell people we're like cousins or something. Think about that. And then he turned into my biggest hater. He's honestly, his name is mentally boomed, but he's mentally boomed, like perma boomed. But honestly, I mean, it's an hour and a half. You're probably not going to watch an hour and a half of his VOD review because you don't hate the guy like I do. But I sat through it all. I fucking loved every second of it because I mean, I love hate watching. So
I don't know how you commit to this bit of hate watching so hard, you know? Like for me, if a hate watch goes for more than 30 seconds, I feel like my head's going to explode. I feel like the hatred is not like enough fuel for me to sit through it.
Oh,
Maybe I'm just not capable of living through discomfort.
I'm the opposite. You remember when they had that like
adversity?
You remember when there was like that Hassan H3 debate that went on for 4 hours?
You watched a 6 hour long video.
I was fucking dialed in. I watched the debate and then I watched someone react to the debate. I was fucking dialed in just because I live for that shit. Like hate watching, it's in my blood. So it's mentally boomed for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a strong winner. That's a strong winner. And it actually seems to be setting a dangerous precedent now. That anyone who comes for Chris, it ends in disaster for them.
It's actually it always does. Like, listen, why do you think Cage's YouTube account's got hacked? You know, like that's just like you think it's a coincidence? No.
That's why I said you'll get third place, Chris. I need some good luck on my side.
Unfortunately, the safest arena to take on Chris is in Overwatch.
Yeah, that's true. Just scrim against us, you'll probably beat me. But in the arena of words or hate, no chance.
The arena of hate.
In the AOH. Cries.
Yeah. So I think all same page. Mentally boomed. Number one.
Right, he's Marvel Rivals coach now, but I'm in.
Of course he is.
Him being LFT relatively shortly.
No, I'm sure he's probably already turned a corner here and fixed all of these issues. I wouldn't be worried about it. Yeah, but I think that's it. I feel like invariably we've probably missed like 8 key topics. And like another 20 client of the weeks we've skipped out on somehow. But let us know in the comments, and we'll do a retroactive one in another 60 days. Before we go, a special thank you to Red Eyes for being our biggest supporter on Patreon, keeping us going.
You, Red Eyes.
Even when we don't release episodes, if anything, it just makes me appreciate you more, Red Eyes. So thank you very much. We will be. This is going to be the softest of soft promises. But now we're all back, and no one else is planning to get married anytime soon. We might have more regular episodes. I reckon we can get. I reckon. Might even do a Q&A. Subscribe to the Patreon to find out if we do.
Q&As haven't been the same since Orange Slayer left, mate.
That's true.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Seicoe, for coming on. Best of luck for everyone this weekend, since everyone is still in competition.
Cheers.
Could be an uncoachable.
Could all get through. We could all get to EWC.
Yeah.
True. Can do another podcast during EWC if it happens.
Yeah.
That was what we wanted to do last time. I think that was how I managed to sneak my way under the desk, you know, begging Omar for a podcasting room. Never happened. Got a job instead. Cheers.
They literally said we could, and then we were just like, nah.
Yeah. CBA.
I feel like at this stage we're like we're just honest. We're not going to do the fucking podcast, you know. Like our passion for
the live one,
you know. Like it's just all of it. You know, we'll show up every few weeks, but you know,
punch the podcast card when required. You know.
Yeah. No, guys, don't listen to the rumors. We're so back.
We're going to record another episode in 2 hours and 15 minutes going blind reacting to the patch notes.
I saw the patch note special.
I saw this absolutely abominable thumbnail on Twitter from the establishment yesterday. Let me find it. It was like so shocking. We need this on. Like, just look at this shit. Like, you really got to go to a whole other level. Look at this. Like, this is us.
That is desperation right there. You know, that is. There's nothing we won't just do. Drama. What was the drama in playoffs? Was every game that a 3-0?
Landon and Tree. That's the drama right there. Landon and Tree punching on.
What was the Landon and Tree drama?
Like Johnny's Torbjorn.
I don't think there was any drama.
The drama is it's the absence of proper on a Face It League roster for 6 hours or something.
That was a dramatic 6 hours.
Yeah.
Probably the most dramatic thing that's happened in the last 6 hours as well. I think we can all agree.
Agreed. Wait till those patch notes drop, baby.